Tom Brady. Did you see what he did?
No. Cloned his dog?
Even, bro, watch. This is the worst one. I didn't even post about it yet. Tom Brady, one glove. This is on Sunday night, dude.
Why did he do it? That's O.J. Simpson. But this is O.J. Simpson stuff.
One glove. Who's playing? Do you know who's playing behind him?
No.
The Buffalo Bills. That's who O.J. Simpson played for his whole career.
I be telling people, I said, that's Bill Clinton's son. He's a Crip from Little Rock, Arkansas. But that's my homeboy.
So everyone knew in Arkansas who Danny was. And
everybody know Danny. Everybody know that's Bill Clinton's son.
Year 2026, what a time to be alive. Matter of fact, ain't Black History Month coming up soon?
You gotta see this.
If you are monitoring spirit, I rebuke you now in the name of Jesus.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
Genuinely surprised me. The oldest person alive today lived closer to George Washington than to someone born after the pandemic. She was born 110 years after George Washington passed away in 1799, and she's currently 116 years old. The 1900s were a pretty long time ago, though, to be born in, right? Am I 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 right? Japan's cybersecurity minister in 2018 made headlines when he admitted he had never used a computer, even though he was responsible for the country's cybersecurity. Bill Gates' daughter said that she was not allowed to use the last name Gates until high school because Melinda wanted them to be raised with middle-class values. A Dallas Christian high school fired its basketball coach after winning a game 100-0 because the school said it was such a blowout that it was not Christ-like and honorable. What can you do? No, they didn't score at all. My name is Adorian. That's what I learned today. Follow me to learn something new tomorrow.
I'm truly sorry if this ruins your... But I want you to think for a second about all of the craziest conspiracy theories that you can come up with about intelligence agencies and what they're capable of. Like, I'm talking like, they're watching me through the TV kind of conspiracy theories, because it is that. And it's worse. In 2017, there was a massive leak out of the CIA that the agency now calls the Vault 7 disclosures, and we found out that not only can they basically intercept any communication at any time, they can hack into your smart TV and listen to you even when it's off. They can also take over your car using its embedded computer and do whatever they want with it. Drive it off a bridge, drive it into a tree. They could make you disappear, and to the rest of the world it would look like a mysterious accident. There wasn't a lot of reporting in 2017 about the specifics of what was in the Vault 7 disclosures, and there's a good reason for that. But this is just what we know they can do using 2017 technology. That was 8 years ago. It was before TikTok, before AI, before the second Trump presidency, before they were openly, publicly discussing targeting political dissidents with the power of the state. So when people try to tell you, oh, the CIA can't do this, or Mossad can't do this, yes, they fucking can.
Bro, Tom Brady. Did you see what he did?
No. Cloned his dog?
Even, bro, watch. This is the worst one. I didn't even post about it yet. Tom Brady, one glove. This is on Sunday night, dude.
Why did he do it? That's O.J. Simpson. But this is O.J. Simpson stuff.
One glove. Who's playing? You know who's playing behind him?
No.
The Buffalo Bills. That's who O.J. Simpson played for his whole career. Except 1 year. Bro, the Bills are playing Sunday night. He's the announcer. He's so in the game, Tom Brady. It's ridiculous. He for sure is not human.
Bro, but how can you be a 45-year-old and be the best quarterback in the league?
No, dude, you can't.
It's impossible. 45-year-old, bro. And he's not big.
Paul, I'll tell you what. Now that I see all this stuff, like when he throws the ball, they don't try to tackle him. They don't, they're rushing him. They don't try to tackle him. The guys are so open, and then when he catches the ball, they make believe they're trying to. But of course, I could do the same thing.
That's why Tom Brady was the GOAT, bro. He said they would people would willingly let him, bro, just throw that pass. I didn't see that thing with the glove, man, when the Bills played. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to rewind the game tape of Tom Brady. He does the reporting on the games. But was that a coincidence? Or was that something else, man? That's crazy, though, putting two and two together. I didn't even notice that until now. Wow, they're huge. They're like giants, bro. Tell me they don't look like giants. They said they were the Patov royal family. That's where they're at currently, I think. Damn, this nigga was at the sun.
So I be telling people, I said, that's Bill Clinton's son. He's a Crip from Little Rock, Arkansas. But that's my homeboy.
So everyone knew in Arkansas who Danny was, and
Everybody know Danny. Everybody know that's Bill Clinton's son. I fuck with Danny though. He a good nigga.
Yeah, he seems nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he just wants like the truth to be told. He just wants the DNA test to be done, and I mean, he looked just like that.
Man, that nigga look just like Bill. And Bill used to live in the middle of Little Rock, right there by goddamn East Safeway. Yeah.
Damn.
I believe it. When I seen him, I said, God, when they introduced me, they said, that's Bill Clinton's son. A nigga turned around, I said, God damn. Sure is.
Year 2026, what a time to be alive. Matter of fact, ain't Black History Month coming up soon? It's around the corner. Yeah, that's right. We got to see Idol 22 get the pause put on him. We never thought we'd see this day. But shout out to Idol 22 for even getting in the ring. You can't say he's scary, he did it. But yeah, we needed to see this, y'all. This a W for us.
Damn.
W, boys, W. From the grave, y'all. Let's go. 2026, man. Can't believe it. From the grave. Shit is crazy.
Oh, he tapped out, bro. That's crazy, man. Adam 22 versus Freak Edition Love, bro. This whole situation with them going on, bro. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, man. Y'all gonna have to find out for yourselves why the fight even happened in the first place, man. But let me just say, the fact that he lost, bro, and he just gave up. Well, he didn't give up. He got into the ring. He, I guess, stood his ground, but it wasn't enough, man. That's insane.
Emo?
Holes, bro. That's the movie. That's where it's from.
Oh, no.
Your DNA, 6665. Do I have your attention yet?
You gotta see this.
In the world. If you are monitoring spirit, I rebuke you now in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Oh, amen.
Notice how it didn't leave until she said Jesus. And did you notice how the baby even calmed down at the name of Jesus? Hallelujah and amen. Follow or subscribe for more videos like this.
Hey, fool. Stop playing, bro. This is not Kyle, right? This is not real, right?
Can't be.
Don't tell me that this is really fucking Kyle, bro. This man really posed in all these pictures and took them. Fool, this gotta be AI, right? This AI.
Yeah.
But if it ain't AI, they got this man. I didn't want to believe it. But if this is real, what I was believing is real too. People don't know. A lot of times it always start with the fashion too. Once you start dabbling into little shit like this, there's nothing you won't do. It's crazy how he picked that name, The Vet. When now he one of their pets. They finna take his ass to the clinic. He about to put on a clinic. Ooh, this ain't it, Kyle. And is that motherfucking nail polish? Oh, hell no. They done made this man put on nail polish. A dress is coming soon.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that was AI, man. That, because I'm about to say, the reason why I say AI, because I'm pretty sure Kyle's brand, Bavit brand, it's not even done yet. He's still in the, like, stages of making it, man. You saw his video, I quit. He was still in the stage of, like, he went to Italy to see all the leathers and stuff, learning. basically had to do them himself. So you said with it like brand collection, that has to be Cartier because it's not even done yet, bro. Kai, he's not even done yet. So I'm gonna have to call that. I'm gonna have to debunk that one.
If you're on TikTok and you didn't block Oracle the first time we told you to, head on over and block Oracle right now. Well, if you haven't heard, TikTok has officially been sold, and Oracle will be playing a very big part in it. And one thing is for sure, the algorithm that we all enjoy will be changing. And right now, we're uncertain if it's going to be changing for the better or for the worst. But one thing is for sure, it will be changing. And for those of you that have posted videos complaining about all the community guideline violations and video suppression, do you think it's actually going to get better, or do you think it's actually going to get worse under new management? And the other question that is lingering on everyone's mind, will they keep the same app, or will they update it? Will they change it? What is going to happen with TikTok as we know it? And one thing we can be sure of, there will definitely be some type of changes, whether it be right now or in the future. But as always, you can follow me on the gram, TheJoeD69. Follow me there. I'm on YouTube as well, the same thing. Keep in touch just in case. So once again, if they do end up keeping TikTok as it is, there will be some changes. And some of us may like it and some of us may not. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Hey, yo.
I think TikTok is still down, right? It's been down for like 2 days now, bro. Like when people try to post certain things, there's like it's getting censored, or I heard they're posting it and it's like stuck at like 0 views. So when they sold when they sold TikTok to Oracle, you guys know the whole algorithm changed. Everything's probably different. I heard there's whole new terms of agreements that you have to accept. I never seen that popped up on my TikTok yet, but I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, bro. Ever tried to use TikTok, man? That joint, bro. They're cooked. And I remember heard some people's monetization features got taken away. I think they said it came back, man. But they saying it's because of the storm. It took down some of the data centers. But I don't know, man. Tell me down below, man, if you guys think this TikTok, when they sold TikTok, is this change for the good, or it's gonna be getting even worse, bro?
Well, check this shit out.
Do not look away from the symbol. You drew this in middle school. I drew this. We all did. But ask yourself one question. Who taught you how to draw it? It wasn't a teacher. It wasn't in a textbook. It wasn't on TV. And there was no internet to spread it. Yet somehow, this specific shape appeared in every single classroom on Earth at the exact same time. You probably called it the Superman S or the Stussy S, but look closer. Neither of those brands ever used this symbol. Those were false memories implanted to make you feel safe. This was actually the Universal S protocol, a global experiment in analog viral marketing designed to test how fast a single geometric instruction could infect the collective unconscious. Think about the sensation of drawing it, the 6 vertical pillars, the diagonal cross. It felt strangely satisfying, didn't it? That satisfaction was the trap. You weren't doodling, you were closing the circuit. It's 2 parallel sets of vertical bars that never actually touch. A broken infinity loop designed to trap your focus in the margins of your notebook. They weren't testing your artistic ability, they were calibrating your compliance to a grid. The experiment was a success. We all learned the code without ever being told. If you have this symbol in your old notebooks, you didn't create it. You were the entity.
I guess you just put it in the water and then it starts to float.
No
So
way.
you telling me that after 21 years of going to school and learning about science and physics, that if I turn this water on, if I put an egg in it, it's just gonna float? Ain't no way this is gonna work. But we finna find out.
Okay. Here we go. You building out a
Now
science
we got the
lab out here.
egg. The water is still running. Now let's see if this thing gonna float.
Egg versus gravity. Who's gonna win?
What the hell? What? Yo,
No.
what? Oh my god.
They never taught me this.
What?
The science class.
Every single Saudi Arabian player is now being given a Rolls-Royce each as a reward for winning their historic match against Argentina. The gift is courtesy of Saudi Arabian Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who will be buying them a $1.3 million Rolls-Royce Phantom each. The question is, what would they be given if they won the World Cup?
Margot Robbie just said that she basically fell in love with Jacob Elordi while they were filming the new movie Wuthering Heights. And what's even more insane is that Margot Robbie quite literally has a husband. Margot Robbie's husband is literally a producer on this movie and was most likely on set during this. Margot Robbie said that Jacob Elordi picked her up with only one arm and it made her weak in the knees as she let out a dramatic sigh. But this is where it gets even more worse. Margot Robbie also mentioned in the interview that she became codependent on Jacob Elordi, and she said that anytime they were together on set, she would try to find him because without him, she felt like a child without her blanket. And for Margot Robbie's husband, how is he doing this? Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are doing photo shoots where they look like this. This would absolutely destroy me. I need to know for this scene, was her husband sitting somewhere watching this scene go happen? Must take a very secure man to be married to Margot Robbie. Honestly, if I was her husband, I could get past what she was doing in the movie. It's literally her job. But the comments that she's making in these interviews is even more concerning her. If you were her husband, would you watch this movie?
Would you, Seekers, man? I don't know. People they be saying that's part of like a Hollywood freaking, ritual humiliation joint. But man, when I heard those comments, I was just shocked. Hey, her freaking husband's a producer on the movie. He knows what's going on, like I said. So, he's a very secure man.
I told you that this was going to happen, and damn it, has it happened, that radiation fog. Yeah, that radiation fog that was in California that was being produced by the Ring of Fire. It has kicked its way and swept the South. You understand? Not only has it swept the South, you got South Carolina, you got Mississippi, but it hit Alabama where your girl resides. Okay, and with this fog came a slew of symptoms. Not only is it causing headaches, it's causing nausea, it is a serious funk. A funk that comes with this fog. And people all in airlines have been complaining about it. But not only that, but the animals are even feeling the effects. Even the animals are feeling the effects. And it's no coincidence that where this radioactive fog has appeared, these crazy weather phenomena start happening. It's just coincidental, but we can go to the clips.
Look, see outside, we got Alabama and Georgia being your representatives from the southeast this morning. Dense fog advisory is up through mid-morning, so, the next couple hours is the most crucial.
Are you filming the road? Yeah. Why? Because we don't have this at all.
If you know, you know. Alabama doesn't get fog. It's not a thing here. And if you don't believe me, let's go to some other state.
Okay. Fog travels, bro. Crazy.
Now remember how the Ring of Fire is active, right? Which is a bunch of super volcanoes, underwater, all type, just active, popping it off right now. But then you also got Yellowstone getting active, right? Hell, it's a clip.
Take a look at this. A huge muddy eruption caught on camera at Yellowstone's Black Diamond Pool.
The Ring of Fire just woke up and everything around it is cracking open. In the last 2 days, volcanoes have started erupting again from Indonesia to Japan, and the seafloor near Chile has begun to shake like a heartbeat. Off Japan's Iwate coast, a 6.9 earthquake hit this week, the strongest in the region.
You're the Flaming Horse, 2026. Not even a full month in. And this is how you give it? Okay, cool. All right.
This looks like an old engineering poster from the 1980s. Strange blueprints, futuristic buildings, projects that were never meant to exist. But one structure here isn't a concept. It's real. AT&T Long Lines building. I opened Google Earth and flew over New York City, a city of glass towers, lights, reflections, symbols of transparency. And then, hidden among them, I noticed something wrong. A massive concrete block. No windows. No signs. No reflections. It doesn't look like it belongs here. It doesn't look like it belongs anywhere. This is 33 Thomas Street. Built during the Cold War, designed to survive disasters, completely sealed from the outside world. Some say it was more than just a communications hub. Street view makes it even more disturbing. Cold concrete walls, deep unnatural shadows, not a single normal window. It feels less like a building, and more like a fortress. And the scariest part? Millions of people walk past it every day, without ever asking why this building was designed to never look back at the city.
I don't know how people have the courage to live in the Appalachian Mountains, but I will never. Anytime I see a video about the Appalachian Mountains, whenever I go to sleep, this shit always pops up in my dream. That's how I know that shit is evil. I just saw a video of a lady that lives in the Appalachian Mountains. Her and her daughter were scared out of their minds. Now, mind you, her daughter is downstairs by herself. She keeps hearing a voice scream her name. Now, if you know anything about the Appalachian Mountains, you know when you hear a voice, if you hear a voice, you are not supposed to answer that voice. If you are inside and you hear that voice, you are not supposed to open your door to that voice. So the voice keeps on screaming. Then the voice changes into the girl's father's voice. Now you just hear what I just said, right? The voice she heard was her father's voice. She ran upstairs and told her mom. Her mom, panicking, calls the father on the phone.
A mimic.
She's on the phone with the father. While she's on the phone with the father, she hears the same exact voice. And then out of nowhere, she heard footsteps coming up her stairs. Running up her stairs. So the father, who's on the phone, is like, yo, listen, I'm on my way home. Stay in the room. Do not come out the room.
Smart.
This lady recorded this video where something was banging on the door. Banging. When I say banging, I mean banging. Boom, 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 boom on the door. I might have to start a series on this shit because this shit is the scariest shit I could have ever seen. These Appalachian Mountain stories are the scariest stories I could have ever heard. I don't understand why people live there. I don't understand how people live there.
Me either.
But I would never. I'm out.
Oh. So you're telling me that this whole time I've been sleeping on a mattress when I should have been sleeping on the floor? And if I continue to sleep on my bed, my back will shut down on me indefinitely? You motherfuckers. When was y'all gonna tell us, huh? For how long have y'all been keeping these secrets?
All my life.
So according to Vastu Sastra, this is what we supposed to be sleeping on. That explains all of the problems we have been having lately. This explains the tossing and turning. My body can't perfectly align itself on this mattress.
So to everybody that loves snow and they love ice and they love snowy days, making snowman, and they think winter is real, please explain this over here. Why is the snow only getting on the road but not on the grass? I want to know the science behind this. Yeah, I really want to know, because the other day I noticed this. Just last week, it was like 37 degrees in Florida. Today, it got up to 81. How is this possible? And then tomorrow is going to be 38 again. How is this possible? If winter is real and they're not forcing it, how is this possible? Winter is a spell, y'all. This is a spell. I'm telling you, it's because of that, the dragon. Let's go.
So, I want you to notice the bullshit. Why the grass not covered like the ground?
It's not covered.
Because the earth is still too warm. Naturally. They force it. I get a little bit. It's not covering like the ground is covering. What making the grass so special? Because it's fucking real.
Normally that's what get
covered first.
It get dusted first. Look at it.
It's not even sticking to the tree.
It ain't sticking.
Yeah. Y'all know how, especially up in the north, y'all know exactly.
Why is that?
Yes. Okay.
Keep being fooled.
Mount Adams, fire tower.
Everything over there is frozen. Snow. Interesting. It's ice. Frozen overnight. Got fake snow, bro, in the big 2026. Oh, that snowstorm hit that. How would you do that? God damn, it looks like that damn movie, remember, where like everything was frozen? I forgot what the movie's called, man, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
This whole celebrity idea is eroding. The whole fame idea is eroding. That shit was sold to us, y'all. You got people out here that are human, that are acting every day of their life. They're not even real. They just on NPC shit. Every day they acting. They don't even know the world is a stage, dog. And it's a lot of terrible actors. It's a lot of terrible actors out here. The world is a stage. There's a lot of terrible fucking actors, dog. And then I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, dog. I'm just gonna say it. I tried to tell Spice beforehand. I said it, but the whole idea of celebrity, bro. If you're not a real person and you can't stand on your morals and principles out here, move out the way. You can't stand on any principles and morals out here as a person that's trying to see this world become better, move out the way for the time being. I'm not paying attention to all the, the beefs going on or, who.
So scientists just proved that smiling is a universal language after they see grass cells smiling under the microscope when it rains. And not only under the microscope, people have also seen their plants from their gardens smiling. I don't know about y'all, but I need my food to have a smile on it too. And the craziest thing is, I'm not even surprised. This is what the creator, God, left the blueprint, putting a signature on it. Designed the code for happiness to be a smile. You even see our pets like cats and dogs. If you got them, you know that they smile when they happy. For the people who skeptical, why does this look like a smiley face? It could have been any other geometrical shape, but it's a smiley face. Because obviously the plant is happy that it's getting water. There are literally dozens of Bible verses that tell you to be happy. Like a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up bones. Remember, God didn't give us a spirit to be sad and depressed. He told us to be happy. Even the plants know it. I'll let me know y'all thoughts on what y'all think about plants smiling under the microscope in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. If you want to learn how to put a smile on your face because your content is making you money, comment down below Hub and I'm sending resources in your DMs. Smile, nigga.
Smile.
But it's an invisible person, and they're tickling her.
Imaginary friend, maybe?
Stop. And I pray so much, it can't be no bad spirit in here. Cause I pray so much over this house.
Hey. You play with your granny? You play with your granny?
Her granny?
Play with your granny?
She is really interacting. Oh my goodness.
This
What do you
artwork
think?
that was found in Jeffrey Epstein's house is incredibly disturbing. So this was actually in Epstein's mansion in New York City, and as you can see, this is a sculpture of a bronze bride hanging by a rope. All this is coming from the New York Times, and immediately when I viewed this sculpture, I was just overcome with a sense of dread. Clearly you can see that she does not look happy, and she almost looks like she's trying to escape something. Also inside of the mansion, Epstein had photos of he and Ghislaine with Pope John Paul II, Mick Jagger, Elon Musk, Fidel Castro, Richard Branson from Virgin Airlines, President Bill Clinton, which, let me just tell you, this picture is so eerie. And even a signed dollar bill gifted to Epstein by Bill Gates. Now, there were also photos of Epstein with Saudi officials like Mohammed bin Salman. And in the office, Epstein had a green first edition of Lolita, the 1955 novel, in which an intellectual develops a sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl, which obviously provides evidence for the blackmail thing. I mean, you can clearly see these cameras mounted in rooms that in a normal house would not be there.
When the elite fully take over,
Crazy.
This is what the future is going to look like. Listen.
The year is 2067. Nobody can afford to move out anymore, so you live with your kids and your kids' kids in your $14,000 a month, 800 square foot, 3-bedroom apartment that's owned by BlackRock.
Right?
You just got back from a long day of working at your government-mandated filming of Beast Games on Amazon Prime, sponsored by Palantir. That's how you afford your groceries at your local Lockheed Martin supermarket. You're still 20 years away from retiring. Eggs are $32 and the federal minimum wage is $10. There's a Tesla microchip planted in your head that you need to be able to vote, but you can only afford the basic monthly subscription, so you still get Papa John's commercials pumped directly into your eyeball every hour on the hour. Shaq is still the face of the company. They used AI to download his subconscious and repurpose it for commercial use, so they own the rights to him. Technically, you're leaving tonight to go on a camping trip for the one day you get off every week. The national park closest to you was bought out by Microsoft decades ago, so your ticket to entry is part of a Microsoft Suites package. Don't worry, teams can still reach you out there. You better leave soon. It's going to take 5 hours to get there. There's citywide gridlock and no public transport in every single major city across the U.S. For the working class, at least, the top 1% get the private jet and helicopter everywhere because they don't want to sit in the traffic. It's 124 degrees out. The ozone layer doesn't exist anymore, and neither do bees or glaciers. Florida's underwater. We're still at war in the Middle East, but don't worry. Starbucks just came out with some new summer refreshers. OnlyFans, Orange, and Prize Picks Peach. They're 176 grams of sugar, and vegetables are only for the mega wealthy. But your auto's empty, so you can sip on 3 of them while you doom scroll AI-generated content and slip into extinction.
There's a theory.
That's scary, bro. Imagine if that's actually the future, man. It sounds horrible, bro. Everything's freaking overpriced. The elite have everything, have all the access to all the resources, but the working class still struggling. I don't like that.
That the Hoover Dam is secretly a demonic throne and that the government put angels there to cover it up. When you go to the Hoover Dam, you're gonna see something really odd. There's a spot that has 2 giant winged statues made out of bronze. They look like angels, right? They are technically called the winged figures of the Republic, but this is the weird part. No one officially says what they are. They're not angels, they're not demons, they're figures. And that's not random. There's actually a floor underneath them that is a cosmic map. It shows the exact alignment of the stars the day that the dam was completed. Like they wanted like aliens or gods to find this later. You'd think it's just some like artsy little design, right? But the guy who made that design said that this is specifically supposed to last for thousands of years. Like that design was supposed to outlive our civilization. And this is where it gets a little darker. People also call this place the throne of the devil. But why would a dam need a cosmic star map and then 2 20, 30-foot bronze guardians? And then all of these like occult looking type symbols. Well, get this. So over 100 workers died while building the dam. And some people do believe that their bodies were sealed into the concrete and that they were considered to be sacrifices to bless the sculpture. And then on top of all of this, the location of these statues don't really make any sense. Like, why would they have these big designs at a power plant? And if you're religious, you also have to remember Satan was originally an angel. Another crazy thing to note is that the Hoover Dam has been featured in dozens of end-of-the-world movies, disaster scenes, and games. It has always been the center of destruction and secret technology. And then it's like, is that a coincidence, or is it programming for us to see it as the key to something? Even the name Hoover comes from a president who was involved in major US power shifts, literal power and electricity. And this makes you wonder if the government is trying to hide in plain sight. Massive monuments with spiritual symbolism built into them. Government approved, celebrated, protected, and most of us never even question it. So when you pass by and you take a little selfie, you don't even realize you are standing on what some call a throne. But the question remains, a throne for who exactly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
I don't know about you, but myself, in my lifetime, I don't recall ever seeing so many wildfires, floods, earthquakes, and everything else in 1 year. It just seems more and more consistent with biblical times. Currently, there are multiple wildfires taking place in the state of California in the United States.
Again?
Take a look at this video. Take a look at this. These fires have currently burned over 70,000 acres at a time. Just look at this.
Scary
So
sight.
far, close to 4,000 people have been evacuated due to these out-of-control wildfires in California. And the sad news is, so far to date, 14 people have passed away due to these fires. The scary part is, as of right now, these fires are zero contained. We are very grateful for the men and women on the front line fighting these fires. So my question to you is, why are they having fires again? What is causing all of this to continue again and again in the state of California and around the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I said it
What do you
before.
think?
What the is going on with Jenna Ortega, y'all? When I did a video on this last time, people was like, oh, you tripping. Now people see what I'm talking about. Like I said before, her whole facial features is different. Her whole facial structure is different. Point in case. Look at it, y'all. Look at the major difference. And one thing I really want y'all to pay attention to is look at her eyes.
Okay.
You can see that they're way different now. These eyes look like she been through some shit. It look like that light is being dimmed. Look here. She look hella innocent, y'all. She look a little younger, but she look hella innocent. This one look like she finna morph into something, if you know what I'm talking about. Everything about this picture of Jenna Ortega looks crazy. And it's from my perspective. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. What do you think about this? Bam, boom.
Here's some. See, because what do you guys think, man? We knew Jenna Ortega, like, she blew up after Wednesday and a couple other things she was in, but she just, like, skyrocketed. So, I mean, maybe, you know, when people get that level of fame, it changes people's perspective on things.
The creepiest videos on the internet, part 10. The popular American rapper XXXTentacion was murdered on June 18th, 2018, and his death broke the hearts of many. Many people visited his memorial to leave gifts, but some people captured much more. The YouTube channel The Fam recorded a video trying to communicate with this beloved rapper, but accidentally captured this. But someone else got a lot more than this. The YouTube channel Selva the Explorer got to speak with him through her spirit box. Here's some things he had to say.
What is your favorite song that you ever recorded? What's the name of your favorite song? Are you in the Wi-Fi? Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Australia has just made history after launching their first orbital rocket ever. And it lasted 14 seconds before brutally crashing. Well, at least it was a day for it. But it's not over. The company behind it, Gilmore Space Technologies, considered it a massive success. Because not only is this the first ever Australian-made orbital rocket to be launched from their home country, but it was also the first launch of any orbital rocket from Australia in more than 50 years. And afterwards, the company shared a statement on their Facebook which had resounding support from men all around the world, and it said, "We hit every objective even with only 14 seconds of flight, and all in time to clock off before smoke up.
Oh, if you cheating, Instagram is not gonna let you cheat in peace. They're about to blow your shit up. I'm probably gonna be the first person to let you know this, so do not shoot the messenger. Instagram just did an update, and let me say this, I do not approve of this update. Look at this shit. They just made some shit called Maps in Instagram, and as you can see right here, you see that? When you click on that button, you can see everybody that you're following, any place that they are at. Oh, you ain't believe me, right? Look at this shit right here. You see my face right there? You see this right here? You see this right here? All of those are posts from people that I'm either following or follow me, and I can look on that map and see exactly where they are. A lot of y'all are gonna be in a lot of bullshit with this new update. And then Instagram got the nerve to ask you to tell your friends about this so you can know their location. So the best thing you could do is you better turn that location off. Because if you tell somebody, I'm going to this place, and they look on this map and see that you was somewhere else, you're going to be in a lot of bullshit. And the shit get wicked, because if you zoom in and actually look, you can see exactly where a person is. That means a person's house, a person's car. You can see anywhere a person is at that moment. And you see my shit right there? You see it says not sharing, right? But if you look on that map and you zoom, you can see exactly where I'm at. That's not good. Instagram is about to get a lot of people in some bullshit. But you heard it here first. But like I said, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm out.
In a word, please turn off that sharing location apps on Instagram if you haven't, man. I did that as soon as I saw that. I'm like, nope, we ain't doing that over here, man. Instagram trying to get people caught up, bro. People having your location? Nah.
World first, scientists have unlocked a new sense for computers, scent. Robots now know how to smell. Essentially, the teleportation of scent. We've already successfully digitized our senses of sight and sound by turning what we see into digital form, like JPEGs, what we hear into MP3s, and putting it all together into videos, like this one right here. Capturing our real-life visual and auditory senses and turning them into ones and zeros that computers can understand. That's what it means to digitize something. Big surprise, I'm not actually inside of your phone, but I've digitized an audio-visual representation of myself so that I can, in essence, teleport my appearance and my voice to devices like yours around the world. Osmo Labs adds a whole new dimension to how we communicate and interact with anything online by adding our sense of smell into the mix. The researchers took purple peaches, also known as a plum, mashed it up and captured its scent molecules inside of a vial. A machine then sucked the air out of this vial and used AI to analyze those molecules and map out its scent profile on a molecular level. Using this blueprint, they can print this scent anywhere in the world as a clear liquid that smells exactly like a plum. Officially giving computers a new sense and allowing us to teleport smells on top of images, video, and audio over the internet. And I think we can all see how things are going to end up when we can start smelling our messages in the group chat. Other than that, there are still some pretty mind-blowing applications for this. We'd be able to digitally store a library of our favorite scents that we can access at any time. The luxury fragrance industry would likely go out of business, as we'd be able to perfectly clone every designer cologne and perfume that exists. Virtual reality would add an extra level of immersion into their worlds, bringing us one step closer to perfect simulations and fulfilling simulation theory. And above all, computers will now have a new sense that they're able to experience, letting us know how good or bad we smell, and combined with generative AI, we may even be able to create our very own sense from scratch with a couple of text prompts.
I don't know what's going on with the weather, but something bizarre is going on. It should not be this cool for August. You know, August is supposed to be the dog days of summer, right? So what is going on? Why is it so cool for August? And it's not just in my area where I live. It's in multiple locations. It's been cooler than usual. And July this year, at least in my area, felt like August weather. Like it was extremely hot in August. So what is really going on? It really feels as if something major is coming. Something major is happening. And I know I can't be the only one that feels like this. I know I can't be. I know there has to be others out there that feel like I do. What do you think about this? There's something weird going on.
This is the
Any of you guys see his temperature, where you at the temperatures fluctuate? In July, man, I was having some heat waves, bro, so I don't know. August is kind of feeling like it's cooler, though. Something to keep in mind.
first driverless truck fully delivering supplies across the USA. This is going to take away millions of jobs from truckers. Kodiak Robotics just deployed the first fully autonomous freight trucks operating without safety drivers in West Texas, hauling sand through 100-degree heat and dust storms on 21-mile dirt roads. These trucks use 12 cameras, 4 LiDAR sensors, and 6 radar units to navigate completely on their own, while major companies like IKEA and Tyson Foods are already using them for daily freight deliveries. The most terrifying part? Kodiak can retrofit any existing truck into a driverless machine in under 6 months, meaning millions of trucking jobs could vanish overnight. 3.5 million truck drivers in America earn their living behind the wheel, but these autonomous trucks never need brakes, never demand raises, and never call in sick. By late 2026, Kodiak plans to have these driverless trucks operating on every major highway, completely replacing human drivers for long-haul freight. While you're worried about AI taking office jobs, robots are already stealing blue-collar work that millions of families depend on to survive. The trucking industry employs more Americans than any other profession, and artificial intelligence just made them all replaceable.
The woman that was caught selling tamales made of human meat. Bro, you're not gonna want to eat street food anymore. She would take homeless people, lost kids. Now, she had a stand and she was selling tamales. It was a huge hit. Everyone came to her stand. They loved her recipe. But then she started running out of meat because she ran out of money. You know, she wasn't well off. One day, she saw this little girl that was lost. She decided to a lost little girl to her home, bro. And then, you know what happened? What? Business started booming. How? Imagine not getting sick from the tamales? People started saying the recipe tasted so good, tasted a little bit sweet, and it was very unique. Crazy! What she ended up doing, she went on a spree and kidnapping over 50 people. Using their putting it in the food, bro. She was running this for a long time. So how did she get caught? Because there has to be a point where a man got sick and threw up. And she did get caught. Okay, so this is how she got caught. There was a gas leak in her building, and then they went to go inspect it. It wasn't a gas leak. It was the smell of rotten corpses.
I apologize for the jump scare, but the video at the end is way worse. This is Lucy, a giant fake Loch Ness monster that was actually put in Loch Ness to trick people. In 2005, a whole bunch of Scottish people, they decided to prank people in Loch Ness and make this giant 30-foot long, this is so disgusting for people with submechanophobia, aka myself, and yeah, this is disgusting. They made it in 2005 and they tricked people and they put this thing out there before sunrise. They put it in there at night. To scare people, and this is what it looks like. And at daytime, people were like, oh my god, the Loch Ness Monster is real, and it's not. It was just this monstrosity. Here's another photo of it underwater. That is disgusting. And I know the Loch Ness Monster isn't real, but like, would you consider it a dinosaur? Would you put it in the same category as a dinosaur? Because I'm definitely tagging this under dinosaur. And yeah, this is kind of what, like Nessie looks like. No. This is some guy that worked on it in the water with it, and that's how big it is in comparison, which it's 9 meters long, which is around 30 feet. It's disgusting. The full documentary about the building of it and the tricking of the people is actually on YouTube. It's about an hour long. It's called Loch Ness Monster, The Ultimate Experiment. It is fascinating. This is what bro looks like. Watch this video and let me know what you're thinking. And is this freaky or not?
I wonder how many people, man, they got with that. You know they got somebody with that, bro. It's too realistic. Just imagine seeing that, bro. See you caught the Loch Ness Monster.
It's weird that, the Gates family or Bill Gates owns a lot of the, land in North Dakota. I think that's weird. He owns the majority of the water in the United States. I think that's weird.
He does?
Whatever. Weird. It's to each his own. This is for informational purpose only. But at the same time, it's just like when you go to the grocery store and you see certain products that are on there that, They spray
Attacks Part 7, the dude who was attacked by a swarm of raging bees. 23-year-old Alex Bechler and a friend were on a hike in Ussery Mountain Park in Arizona when suddenly, without provoke, a swarm of bees suddenly attacked them. The aggressive swarm of bees stung Alex more than 1,000 times. His friend was able to flee and hide in a nearby bathroom. Several people tried to help Alex as he lay on the ground swarmed with these bees, but every time the bees would drive the people away. A sheriff finally used a UTV to get close enough to him, and still covered in bees, he grabbed Alex and fled with the bees pursuing. Once at the hospital, Alex was pronounced dead.
Man. Creepy videos that you shouldn't watch at night, but you're going to anyway, part 10. I just held up 5, what the fuck. And for my dark web lovers, you will love this video, because this one actually surfaced on the dark web. Also, I might be going on a TV show. I got contacted by a company to make a TV show on Discovery Channel, pretty much about dark web and creepy videos, so thank you guys. So make sure to show some love so we can get him to see it. I just knocked my lights out. Alright, the video has since been deleted, but people actually downloaded it, so I'm just on YouTube. So this is in binary code. If anybody wants to decode that, please let me know. This video is pretty scary, so let's watch. What the fuck?
What's he wearing?
Oh, hell no. Here's the full binary code, so just save the video. So if you guys need help sleeping at night, click the link in my bio. And once you click the link, click on Get a Peaceful Sleep, and it's an app, download it, and you will get the most peaceful sleep of your life.
I don't know what the hell.
Scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 2. The Hoia Baciu Forest is considered the most haunted forest in all of Romania. Hundreds of people have gone missing within these woods, among other things like screams, laughter, babies crying, people being attacked by unseen paranormal forces, strange balls of light, UFOs, and in the very center of the forest lies a clearing where no plant life will grow. It is believed that this spot is a portal to another dimension. What do you think? Like and follow for more.
They need to freaking shut down that whole forest, man. You hear him screaming laughter, bro. That whole spot, where that little circle spot where it's just like nothing else is going on. I feel like that's just like a portal, man, with some bad energy around there. Close it down.
Interesting people you've never heard of. This fisherman survived 6 hours in freezing water after his ship sank. He then walked near lava fields for 3 hours barefoot, and when he returned to safety, there were no signs of hypothermia, even though he was just wearing a shirt and jeans. Frank Hart was the first black athlete on a sports card back in 1880. This environmental activist climbed an over 1,000-year-old tree and didn't come back down for over 2 years. This farm boy from Idaho came up with the idea for an electronic television while he was plowing a field at 14 years old. This Italian banker over a 7-year period diverted over €1 million to his poorer clients from the wealthier clients so that they could qualify for loans. He made no profit and avoided jail in 2018 due to a plea bargain. This physician proved that yellow fever could be transmitted through a mosquito bite and unfortunately passed away from that mosquito bite just 17 days later.
He was dedicated to show the truth, man. He's a seeker of the truth for real.
This is known as the doll that aged. The doll used to look like this and was played with by a couple of kids, but then they started to grow up, so the doll was just locked away in the attic for like 14 years. So then as the parents went up to the attic to like clean it out, they were shocked to find the doll look like this.
How the hell is the doll aging?
Disturbing things Disneyland doesn't want you to know. A few years ago in Disney World, Florida, a little
Township Elementary School in New Jersey. So this whole thing started when Laura became the victim's teacher in the 5th grade. Laura and the victim's mother became friends, got to know each other, and she offered to take care of her kids. The victim, who was 11 years old at the time, was staying at Laura's house with his siblings regularly. Now, the kids went from going to Laura's house every day to then actually staying there permanently. It was said the kids did not go home anymore and they basically lived in Laura's house from 2016 to 2020. During that time, the 11-year-old was being essayed by Laura and allegedly they have a child together. Then fast forward a few years later, the victim's father saw a photo of Laura's child on Facebook and he said, "This kid looks a lot like my son." He called police and an investigation began, and Laura was arrested, but they're still waiting on the DNA results. Now, when the siblings were asked if they saw anything weird going on in the house, they said that Laura and their brother slept in her bed every single night. And not only that, but apparently they also showered together, and they caught Laura as seeing him one night. The siblings also said that when this baby was born, they knew that this was their brother's child, but they were told not to say anything because then Laura would get in trouble. And you guys won't believe this, but Laura was just released from jail until her next court date. This should be a wake-up call to people who leave their kids with literally just anyone. A lot of people believe that just because someone's a teacher, you can fully trust them, but what you may not know is that a lot of predators get positions that revolve around children just so that it's easier to get away with this kind of stuff.
Interesting people you've never heard
Can't trust
of.
anybody.
This dude ran out of gas in rural Maine in 1986 and then spent the next 27 years living isolated in the woods. This man was killed on a street in Brooklyn just before midnight on 9/11/2001, making him the sole victim of murders on that day because New York does not count the 9/11 attacks in its crime statistics, and his murder remains unsolved. This convicted Japanese war criminal recreated his prison cell at home because he believed that his 10-year sentence was too short, and he stayed there till he passed away. This professional swimmer retired due to lung complications after saving 20 people from debris-filled waters. Japan welcomed their first female fighter pilot in 2018 after she was inspired by Top Gun as a child. This basketball player slammed his head into a concrete post after he was frustrated getting his 5th foul and ultimately was never able to walk again.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your day. Firstly, you know these vacuum toilets that are most commonly used on planes and cruise ships? Well, there have been many reports of them sucking the rectum out of people when they flush. Next, this is just disappointing. 1 in 4 Americans actually believe that the sun rotates around the earth. Now, studies show that the average person will wait 5 months of their lifetime for red lights to turn green. You know when you're watching a movie or TV show and you hear these laugh tracks in the background? Well, most of them were recorded in the 50s, so you're hearing dead people laugh. This will ruin your childhood. The Red Power Ranger, Ricardo Medina, pleaded guilty to killing his roommate with a sword. Finally, you are now closer to death than you were when you started this video.
You want a Power Rangers for us, man. Who watched that when you was a kid, bro? Man, what's up with these actors, bro? It's like, once they lose their gig, it's over.
Disney princesses' gloves. Take a look at all the Disney princesses. Some are wearing gloves, some aren't. You'll notice that all the ones who aren't wearing gloves are commoners who married into royalty. Boo's real name in Monsters, Inc. is Mary. And this is the same as the young girl who voices Boo. Her name is Mary Gibbs. And her name is only visible when she's in their apartment and they're making drawings and her name is on the paper. Bambi only uses 72 unique words throughout the entire film. And in total, there are only about 900 words spoken throughout the entire thing as well. To get Robin Williams to play the genie in Aladdin, animators created a sequence of the genie performing Robin Williams stand-up routines. And this was one of the ways they pulled in Robin Williams for this part. Simba literally means lion. In Swahili, Simba directly translates to lion.
I never do that. What the hell? So his name is his name.
Only kids can hear this sound. So scientists discovered a sound they believe only kids can hear. The name of the sound is mosquito tone and it is at a frequency of 17 kilohertz. This is the sound. Let me know if you can hear it.
In 3, 2, 1.
So
I don't.
Did you hear the sound? More?
Did Doja Cat sell
I
her
didn't
soul and
hear
now
it.
she's in the Illuminati? She recently celebrated her 27th birthday with the Illuminati-themed party, and they say when you sell your soul like the devil takes something from you. Watch this clip, it's weird. That clip is not from her birthday party, but basically she's making all these weird faces. We know her music is a little symbolic, but just watch this other clip of her looking like she's glitching, she's glaring off into space, it's weird.
Yo, check out Doja Cat here. Tell me she on timeout. Looks like she just... Yo, what happened to her? She lit. Yo, she lit.
Celebrities are kind of weird. Like, we've seen Cardi B space out in the middle of interviews, but when you're winning an award, that seems like a time when you shouldn't be, like, spacey. What do you guys think about this? Do you think she sold her soul?
Man, people in the industry, you know, some, like I said, her music is, like, symbolic, so... But to say that she had a birthday party and that was the theme, I don't know if that's just, like, trying to be hidden in plain sight, or she's just trying to, you know, like... try to, you know, reflect that narrative back and just trying to, you know, be like, oh, it's just a party. It's everywhere, man.
Times when jokes backfired big time. In 2006, the high-end water Fiji ran an ad campaign jokingly saying the label says Fiji because it's not bottled in Cleveland. Well, the city of Cleveland, Ohio saw this and were offended because what did they ever do to deserve this? So rightfully, the city of Cleveland tested their tap water and found that it was actually cleaner and tastier than Fiji water. Next, several years ago, a California man jokingly got a personalized license plate that read no, and thought it would trick the database so whenever he got a ticket, it would register as no, meaning nothing. Well, the problem with that is, anytime there was an error on anyone else's license plate, they assigned it to him. He got $12,000 in fines.
Try to trick the system, ain't work.
This post made me think, what animal am I glad that I don't have to deal with? I'm cool with most animals, but I think I draw the line at bears, especially grizzly bears. And so the idea of the giant, short-faced bear is something I definitely find frightening. These were like grizzly bears, but much bigger. These were found in the Americas and went extinct towards the end of the last ice age.
Ooh.
So around 12,000 years ago. I don't know what it is about bears, but there's something about them that freaks me out more than any other animal. I'm not really sure why. Maybe one of my ancestors got chomped. As always, come talk on my Discord. You could even suggest content. Though the stickers are getting a little questionable. Info on my Discord in pinned.
Which animals are y'all glad that went extinct? Maybe the dinos for me. Could you guys imagine dinosaurs roaming the earth right now? Especially with the T-Rex. Nah.
Has anybody ever told you the terrifying true story of Snow White? I'm sure by now we all know the Disney version, but the Brothers Grimm version, which came before the Disney version, is actually much darker. In this version, the evil queen orders the huntsman to take Snow White into the woods, kill her, and bring back her liver and lungs for the queen to eat. Which is obviously very disturbing, but there's actually more to the story. Later in the story, the prince and Snow White are getting married, and they invite all the royalty in the land. The evil queen shows up, unknowing it was her stepdaughter's wedding. When she arrives, she's forced to step into burning hot iron shoes brought from the fireplace, and then she has to dance until she dies. And that's her punishment for trying to go after Snow White. I don't really feel bad for her, but gosh, I mean, this version is terrifying.
What's something small that completely changed the course of history? I'll go first. If not for a wobbly chair, we probably wouldn't have Social Security today. Giuseppe Zangara was an Italian immigrant who came to America in the 1920s for a better life. But he had a condition with his gallbladder that caused him immense pain and made him often unable to work. At the height of the Great Depression, there is a political rally near where Giuseppe lives in Miami. Giuseppe is a desperate man, and he was also a marksman in the Italian army. However, he was also only 5 feet tall, so he needs to stand on a wobbly metal chair in order to see over the crowd and get a good aim at President-elect Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Giuseppe fires 5 shots, but because the chair is wobbly, he hits the mayor of Miami instead of FDR. This was FDR's vice president at the time, John Nance Carter, a conservative Democrat from Texas who opposed New Deal policies like Social Security. And if it weren't for a wobbly chair, he would have been president instead of FDR.
Whoa. Changed the course of history.
What is the
She needs
craziest thing
justice.
someone's
confess to on their deathbed. Well, a deathbed confession made this year solved a 20-year-old cold case. And this is coming from the Heart Starts Pounding podcast episode that's all about cold cases that were solved this year. So this year in West Virginia, a man named Larry Webb was dying. And before he died, he called a nurse over and said he needed to get it off his chest that he killed a woman and her daughter back in 2000. It turns out that back then, a woman named Susan Carter and her 10-year-old daughter Alex were living with Larry while Susan was in a custody battle with Alex's father. And one day they just disappeared, but because they were together when they disappeared, police assumed that Susan just ran away with her daughter. But Larry confirmed that that's not what happened. The story he gave on his deathbed is that one day he came home to see that Susan was stealing money from him, and so he shot her. And then panicking, he wanted to get rid of all the witnesses, and that included Alex, her daughter. And to me, the craziest thing in all of this is that Larry had really bad dementia, so when he gave this confession, they weren't really convinced that it was true. But the day after he died, both of their remains were found in his backyard. If you want to hear more on that story and other cold cases that were solved this year, check out the Cold Cases That Were Solved This Year episode of the Heart Starts Pounding podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
When it's the end, man. When the end is near, people, that's when they want to tell the truth, I guess, you know. Get it off their chest. I'm burdened.
The world's most dangerous conspiracy theories. This picture represents conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest. Some of these theories say once you learn the truth, there's no return. For this series, we're going to be picking some from each category until we reach Tier 10, the point of no return. Tier 10 is so scary that some people are saying that I will die before I even reach Tier 10. Okay, Tier 1. Today we're going to be talking about cryptozoology. Cryptozoology is defined as the search for animals whose existence is disputed. For example, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and the Loch Ness Monster. For this one, I'm going to talk about the Ningen. The Ningen is based in Japan. It's an aquatic humanoid creature that can be larger than a whale but also mutate into a human. I know what you're thinking. No way this is real. I thought the same thing until I saw this. In 2007, a company published a magazine with Ningens on the cover. The magazines were completely destroyed with no trace, but I found the PDF file of what it looked like. It gets even weirder. Early February 2013, a huge mysterious object washes ashore that makes locals freak out. 3 days later, the website was taken down without a trace. Doing some more research, I found out that people from Japan created a forum page talking about all of the government corruption that was happening. They then began to speak on the Ningen, and somebody says that he was on the research ship when they captured it on camera, and then government officials raided the boat and even supposedly killing some of the people. 3 days later, the forum page was taken down without a trace, but I found it once again, and take a look at one of the videos somebody posted. So what do you think? Is this Ningen just some myth, or is the government hiding something much darker? This was only Tier 1. Make sure to follow to see Tier 2 because we have a lot more to cover.
Did you know
some truth to that?
Forks were used in ancient China, which were then replaced by chopsticks. It has rained more in Los Angeles this year than in Seattle. Your red blood cells only live about 120 days. Coke had 3 different opportunities 100 years ago to buy Pepsi and refused every single time. Christmas lights used to be a status symbol because they would often be rented instead of bought because they were so expensive. This river in the Amazon has boiling water. Australia has the highest skin cancer rate in the world. Angel Falls in Venezuela is the highest uninterrupted waterfall in the world. The Eiffel Tower can be taller by about 15 centimeters in the summer due to the increased temperatures expanding the metal. It only took Lady Gaga 10 minutes each to write Poker Face, Born This Way, and Just Dance. The Cubs 2016 World Series ring includes an engraving of the Billy Goat that was refused entry in the 1945 World Series, which caused the owner to lay a curse on the team.
One of my favorite Saw traditions is back. For those who don't know, for every Saw movie that comes out, they have a Saw blood drive. It's a partnership with the Red Cross. They did it for the very first Saw movie as a way to promote the film. If you come and give us some blood, we give you free tickets to see the movie. But the original filmmakers saw how successful this was. They saw how many people came out to donate blood, and they decided they wanted to do it again, but just to mostly help people than anything. And they did this for the Saw movies 1 through 8. And by the time Saw 8, aka Jigsaw, finished its promotional campaign, over 360,000 total lives have been saved because of the Saw franchise. I did make a video talking about this back in 2021. Wow, the difference a few years makes. They had to skip over the blood drive for Spiral, I'm assuming because of COVID-related reasons, but now it's back for Saw X, and the posters look so good. They're also advertising all blood types are accepted from
She stabbed her boyfriend in the eye with needles because he was looking at other women. So this happened in Florida, where 44-year-old Sandra Jimenez lost it after her and her boyfriend of 8 years were arguing about him looking at other women. But on this specific Saturday night, when the couple arrived home, Sandra attacked him when he went to lay down. She allegedly jumped on top of him with 2 syringes in her hand and jabbed him in the eye. And apparently these needles were meant to vaccinate their dogs against rabies. Sandra was then found sleeping in her car and was arrested and charged with felony aggravated battery. Can we start normalizing breaking up with her partners instead of trying to kill them?
Dangerous stories kids used to play with every day in the past. In the 1950s, kids could buy a science kit that came with actual radioactive uranium. While marketed for educational purposes, it exposed children to radiation, making it one of the most dangerous toys ever sold. This toy let kids make rubber bugs by heating liquid plastic in a mini oven that reached 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Many children suffered severe burns, and fumes were later found to be unsafe. Lawn darts were a popular outdoor game, but they had sharp metal tips that could pierce the skull. Tragically, several children were seriously injured, and after multiple deaths, they were finally banned in 1988. This 1996 doll could eat plastic snacks, but it couldn't tell the difference between food and fingers with no off switch. It led to scary accidents where kids' fingers and hair got stuck in its powerful jaws.
This is everything we know about the David situation compiled into one video. So the music video for his song Romantic Homicide was posted on the birthday of the girl that was found in his car. Which, speaking of that girl and his music videos, he has used a girl in his videos that looks suspiciously similar to the girl that was found in his car. David also has a leaked song called Celeste where he talks about being obsessed with a girl called Celeste. The girl found in David's Tesla was named, you guessed it, Celeste. There are also different photos that are released of David in person with this Celeste girl, you know, the one that was found in his car. The mom of the Celeste girl said that she was dating a guy named David before she went missing. David and the girl that was found in his car both share a matching tattoo on the same finger. There are also pictures coming out allegedly showing David paying people off to not talk about the fact that he is into younger girls. There's also the fact that the lyrics of Romantic Homicide, one of his most popular songs, kind of eerily mirror the situation that he's in now. Now, the only defense that David really had that he didn't do this was the fact that he's on tour, but the more evidence that comes out, the more that alibi kind of falls apart.
That whole situation is insane, man, with so many twists and turns. People just knowing what's going on, he's paying them off. That's just sad. Where he at?
This 10-year-old ended his mother's life because she wouldn't buy him a VR headset. 10-year-old Noah Mann Tate lived with his mother Kiana Mann in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Noah really wanted a virtual reality headset, and when he asked his mother if he could get one, she told him no. Once Noah was told no, he became enraged and came up with a sinister plan. On the morning of November 21st of 2022, Noah allegedly retrieved a handgun from the house and hid it in his nightstand. He waited until Kiana was doing laundry, shot her in the face, and ended her life instantly. Instead of calling for help, Noah went online, used his mother's credit card, and ordered that VR headset. That same morning, he also attacked his 7-year-old cousin, adding to family fears about his violent behavior. Noah was interviewed by investigators, and he stated that it was an accident, that he was just twirling the gun trying to scare her. But later, he ended up admitting that he aimed directly at his mom. Relatives revealed that Noah had troubling behavior. He had rage issues, he would roam the house at night, he spoke of imaginary people, and he once tried to start a fire with a balloon with flammable liquid. The state psychologist found signs of mild anxiety and psychotic symptoms, but stated that he was competent for trial. Even though Noah was only 10 years old, Wisconsin law states that homicide cases just like this need to start in adult court. If he is convicted of first-degree intentional homicide, he could face up to 60 years in prison.
Let me tell you about some crazy history that they didn't teach you in school. Bill Morgan was an Australian truck driver who was clinically dead for 14 minutes and spent 12 days in a coma back in the 90s. After he made his full recovery, he bought a scratch-off ticket to celebrate and won a car. During a TV reenactment of that win, he scratched another ticket live on camera and won $250,000. Bro, he wasn't meant to die yet. He's selling a course on how to get as much luck as he did. Joe Biden was born closer to Abraham Lincoln's second inauguration as president than his own inauguration as president. A German Jewish news photographer faked a broken arm so that he could sneak a camera into his cast to take a picture of the U.S. Supreme Court in session back in 1932, which is one of the only photos of that kind. There was a few months in the early 70s where you could see through the Twin Towers because it hadn't been fully built yet, and you could see the core structure right there in the middle.
This has got to be the scariest dog I've ever seen in my life. So this lady has been posting videos of her dog Lita to social media, and in these videos, Lita looks uncanny, to put it in the nicest way possible. Now, according to the lady, the reason Lita looks like this is because she has been through a lot. Now, she doesn't describe what a lot is, but I assume it is to hell and back. And so does everyone else in all the comments of the lady's videos, as people seem to be terrified of Lita.
How long you can survive without one of your organs, without one kidney. Your entire life. Without the nose. 65 years. Without the stomach. 5 years. Without the mouth. 3 days. Without the heart. 10 minutes. Without the bones. 8 minutes.
Really?
Without the brain.
That's instant, right?
6 minutes. Without the lungs. 5 minutes. Without the skin. 30 seconds. Without your phone. 0 seconds.
Really? Without the phone? People got a
Turns
problem.
out the singer David was diddling minors, and the girl found in his Tesla trunk was his underage dead girlfriend. He even had an unreleased song named after her called Celeste. It had matching tattoos that said shh on them with dots. At one time, she was even on the stream, and he kind of quietly shooed her away off camera. It was pretty weird. Now he is in hot trouble. He has canceled all his remaining tour dates, and now the investigation is getting heated. I feel like his lawyer is watching all the TikToks and all the stuff stack up with the evidence and sweating right now. Mind you, the girl was Celeste Rivera. She was 15 years old, and she was reported missing a whole year ago. I'm just wondering how long she was in that trunk for, and also her family made comments on this. They knew she had a boyfriend named David. I don't think they knew that this guy was like a 20-year-old singer. Investigators are treating her death like a homicide right now and investigating it like a homicide. A cause of death has not been announced, though. Her family has not really made any comments regarding her death yet, though. The story keeps changing because when I made the video a couple weeks ago or a week ago originally, they said the body wasn't that decomposed, it was slightly decomposed. Now they're saying it's severely decomposed. So it was probably in that trunk for many months. People are also saying that he released a song every single year on her birthday, and it is very odd with that unreleased song titled after her first name. Listen, if all these findings are just coincidental, that would be absolutely insane in his case. His sponsors have been dropping him like flies after the body was found, and people are starting to connect the dots. What is going on with everyone these days? Why is everyone diddling minors, dude? Also, the Epstein files, they haven't even released that yet. But, I'll keep you guys updated as this unfolds. This seems like it's going to be a huge case right now. I am actually very eager to see what they find next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This 95-year-old just beat her roommate to death in the nursing home. She is not a sweet old lady. This happened at a nursing home in Brooklyn, New York. So apparently her roommate actually died by blunt force trauma. She literally smashed her head. On September 14th, that's when they found her dead. She was laying in bed with blood all over the place and gash marks and lacerations all over her head and neck. 95-year-old is being charged with second-degree murder and fourth-degree possession of a weapon. Also, they found the 95-year-old with a bloody hospital gown on, and she just had blood all over herself on her hands, legs, and everything, and she was washing herself off in a sink. So what weapon did this lady have? So she literally took the leg parts off of a wheelchair and beat this lady to death while she was in bed. It's the part that you rest your foot on in the wheelchair. That was covered in blood when they found it. News articles have been trying to reach out to this lady's lawyer, but the lawyer has not gotten back to anybody yet. I just want to know why exactly she killed the roommate. What is going on? You're 95 years old and you're committing murder. Is this her first time? Is the plot deeper than this? We'll see. But seriously, your nursing home roommate, you just beat her to death with a wheelchair, foot stand? That's weird. Let me know your thoughts about the story, guys.
Why? She's 95 years old, she did that? That didn't even sound believable. Young or old, it don't matter. People doing things like that.
Here's some crazy history that they didn't teach you in school. This picture shows a list of proposed amendments that never passed. In 1876, there was an attempt to abolish the United States Senate, just overall. Also, the forbidding of religious leaders from occupying a governmental office. Dang, what was going on at that point? In 1893, we tried to rename the nation the United States of Earth. Bold choice. The same year, tried to abolish the United States Army and Navy. That definitely went the opposite way it was going to go. 1914, finding divorce to be illegal. Why are we attempting all this stuff? Anyone who votes for yes to go to war in a national vote has to register as a volunteer for service in the army. Wow. An attempt to limit personal wealth to $1 million. Interesting that it was in 1933 with the Great Depression. Probably somewhat popular today. Except maybe $1 billion is the number now instead of $1 million. Should people be allowed to have over $1 billion? Is this 1933? In 2033, are we going to get this brought back up 100 years later? Just 14 years after trying to limit that personal wealth to $1 million, they tried to not allow income tax over 25%. Wow, that flipped very fast. And in 1971, American citizens should have the alienable right to an environment free of pollution. Whoops.
Creepy last words was said right before dying. Registered nurse Shirley Smith said that she had a very rich patient who was a true Satanist that was dying of cancer. The patient had upside-down crosses and a Satan's Bible by her bedside. Shirley said that she will never forget what happened. It was the middle of the summer, and yet it was so cold and dark in her room that you couldn't even stand it, even in the middle of the day. She said that it got so evil feeling in there that she had to call a priest to pray with her and her aides before they would even enter the room. When the patient passed away, she had not spoken in over 24 hours. And then all of a sudden, she sat straight up and said, "Satan, take me." And then she fell back on the bed. Shirley said that after she passed, the room got bright and extremely warm. Shockingly, when they moved the patient's body, they had to get rid of the mattress because where her body had been, it looked burnt. And the most horrible smell was emanating from the mattress cover. Needless to say, Shirley went to confession immediately because she did not want an evil spirit around her. A nurse said that one of her patients had a serious recurrence and had to be admitted. Over the course of several nights, he had become quite upset during rounds. He kept asking for his wallet, saying that he had to pay the ferryman. The medical student on rotation in the department took a quarter out of his pocket and put it in the patient's hand. The patient then dropped the coin into the cup on his bedstand and calmed down. Later that night, he passed away quietly. The nurse asked what happened. The medical student, who remembered his Greek mythology, said that the patient had to pay Charon, the ferryman, to be taken across the river Styx. A nurse said that he was doing rounds at a hospital. There was one two-patient room, and one of the patients was a very loud and confused woman who could be quite a handful. On this particular night, she had a roommate who had passed away shortly before the nurse entered the room. She was DNR, so there was no code blue. When he entered the room, he noticed that the elderly lady, who was usually very loud and confused, was sitting quietly with her hands crossed neatly upon her lap. Something was different, and there was this look of serenity on her face. She asked him in a voice that seemed much younger and clearer than before, "Did you see them, young man? They're so beautiful." He said, "No, ma'am, there's no one else here." She said, "They're right next to you, talking to Mrs. Banneker. The angels. They're so beautiful." He said that he instantly felt every hair of his body stand up, and an electric tingle course up and down his spine. "They're not here for me this time," she said sadly.
Who are they here for then? I would get chills too, she said, but if I heard what she had saw. What is he doing? Looks like it's a hotel hallway.
Well, too bad, because negative energy is the only thing that's in this movie.
I claim no negative energy from this.
If you come on here and you claim no negative energy, I'm sorry, because the negative energy is going to get you, and it's relentless. Dramatica pops into theaters on the 12th of September, and you're not going to want to miss this one. It's All Hallows Cleve. Like and follow for your daily dose of horror content. I got to see Dramatica before it hit the theaters, and you know what? This was a lot more different than I thought it was going to be. I guess I really should have paid attention more to the actual title, because this entire thing is filled with trauma and negative energy. It really makes you think, what happens to the survivors after psychological torment from a demon that feeds off of negative energy? For the movie itself is a little bit of a mixed bag. Some things worked, some things didn't. But I was surprised about a handful of things that the movie did actually accomplish. This is one of the first movies that I've seen in quite a while that does have the demon possession. It does have all that same stuff that we're kind of used to seeing in movies. But it takes that and kind of actually does something different with it. You get to see the torment of what all these people that are dealing with this demon actually are going through. Possessed and not possessed. Now, honestly, the trailer fools you in exactly the direction the movie is going to go. It is a very solid, scary movie. And for some of you, it might just scare the ever-living crap out of you. Kicks off like a rocket, and it doesn't stop either. From the very beginning of the movie, it will not give you a second to breathe. So good luck watching Dramatica in theaters on September 12th.
The boy you are looking at is one of the most eerie cases of all time. This is Joshua Maddox, an 18-year-old who was extremely quiet, very artistic, and loved playing the guitar. On May 8, 2008, Joshua told his sister that he was going to leave the house and go and take a walk. Joshua's family waited for him to return, but Joshua never came home. His family called the police, and the police created missing posters, put his name in the newspaper, and even searched the police database, but nothing was ever found on Joshua. Then 7 years later, a cabin found less than a mile from Joshua's home was set to be demolished where they found something unusual in the chimney. Inside of this chimney was a body found in a fetal position crammed inside. The remains were so decomposed that it took DNA testing to confirm that this was in fact Joshua. Authorities claim that this was just an accident and Joshua took all of his clothes off and tried to get inside of this chimney to stay warm. But the thing that gets odd about this is Joshua's clothes were found next to him in a neatly folded position. Even creepier than that, a heavy metal grate was installed outside of the chimney, but it was installed from the inside. As far as for the person who owned the property, allegedly a man named Andy owned it who was mentally unstable and had extremely violent tendencies. And after Joshua was reported missing, Andy just kind of took off. Despite all of this, the death was ruled accidental, but people to this day claim there had to have been some sort of foul play. This is one of those cases where I genuinely have no idea, because if we think about this from a reasonable standpoint, why would Joshua hop into this chimney, take all of his clothes off, and try and get warm when he could have easily just walked home? If you want to see more true crime stories, make sure to like and follow.
3 life hacks that simply everybody needs to know. Number 1, if you ever get a cut or a wound anywhere on your body, and yes, this might sound unbelievable, putting sugar on it will greatly reduce the pain and speed up the healing process. Number 2, just before you go to the gym or do a workout, if you eat an orange, it will prevent you from getting dehydrated, and it will also stop your muscles from being sore. And at number 3, if you're in the elevator and someone pushes all the buttons at once, don't worry. All you've got to do is press each button twice to avoid going to them floors. Once again, I hope all these tips help you out in the future, so take a minute to share all these life hacks with your friends.
The elevator one's helpful.
Disturbing backstories. This is a picture of famous Mexican singer Chelino Sanchez. And at one of his shows in 1992, he received a very weird note.
Her secretly kept hundreds of photos of her, and not long after, she disappeared without a trace. Susan Cox Powell was born on October 16th of 1981, and she was originally from Oregon before she moved to West Valley City, Utah with her husband and 2 sons. She was described as a loving mother, but her marriage to her husband Josh was troubled. He was controlling with money, unstable with jobs, and often erratic. Susan often confided to others that she was scared of him, and she had even drafted a secret will that said, "If I die, it may have not been an accident." On December 6th of 2009, the family attended church, and she called a friend that evening. That would be the last time that anyone heard from her, and by December 7th, she was missing. When Josh spoke to police, he told them a bizarre story about how he took their sons camping in freezing weather after midnight, and Susan just stayed home. Inside of the home, police found 2 box fans blowing on wet carpet. They also found Susan's purse, phone, and keys left behind. But nothing about Josh's story made any sense. Their youngest son, Charlie, later told investigators, "Mommy went camping with us, but she didn't come back." Even friends had reported that Susan was talking about leaving her husband, and investigators believe that there was probably an argument that night. The case quickly shifted, and Josh was the prime suspect. As detectives were digging deeper, they uncovered another disturbing figure, Josh's father, Stephen Powell. Stephen was secretly obsessed with Susan and kept hundreds of hidden photos and videos of her. Many were taken without her knowledge, and he also wrote explicit journals about his fantasies with her. Susan had told her friends that she was deeply uncomfortable with him, and he had even tried to make advances towards her. Although Stephen was never charged in Susan's disappearance, many believe that he knew more than he admitted. In 2012, Stephen was convicted of having inappropriate photos of children when police had raided his home. In 2011, Josh ended up losing custody of his sons due to evidence of abuse, and they were placed in the custody of Susan's parents. Susan's body has never been found. Investigators believe that Josh had ended Susan's life the night she disappeared and hid her remains in the Utah desert or abandoned mine shafts. Steve ended up dying in 2018 and never revealed what he knew. Susan's family continues to honor her and her sons, pushing for stronger protection for domestic violence victims.
So you've probably heard of the 27 Club, but you probably haven't heard of the real-life curse behind it. What if I told you that the first person who joined the 27 Club made a deal with the devil? And I only know about all this because of all the research I had to do for this week's episode on scary legends from the South. So Robert Johnson was one of the best blues musicians in the world when he was poisoned at just 27 years old. And though his death was shocking to many, a lot of people said that it was because the devil was coming to collect on a deal they had made. So the legend goes that after Robert's wife died during childbirth, he went to a crossroads in the area where it was rumored the devil liked to hang out. And there he found a well-dressed man in a suit which he knew was the devil. He got down on his knees and asked the devil to make him the best blues musician in the entire world. He felt that was all he had after his wife died. So the devil took the guitar from Robert, tuned it, and then added another string to it. He handed the guitar back to Robert, basically saying, if you take this guitar, you'll be the best blues musician in the world, but your soul will be mine. But Robert still took the guitar, and the rest was history. 7 years later, at the age of 27 years old, he passed out while playing the guitar on stage. He had been poisoned by a jealous man who knew that Robert was sleeping with his wife. In this week's episode, I get a little bit more into the context of the time and why people really thought that Robert had made the deal with the devil. That and other terrifying stories from the South, so it's worth a listen if you have a chance.
Celebrity Conspiracy Theory, Part 3. So, we're going to talk about Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres was once loved by millions and was almost like the nation's sweetheart or the world's sweetheart worldwide. But she recently had a fall from grace because new information came to light about her being horrible to staff, horrible to contestants, and just not a nice person in general. Now it's up to you what you want to believe, but this is just information that has come to light. There's a theory that all the elites in the world and everyone that's in the are related. Ellen DeGeneres has a very unusual family tree. So it says that she is a distant relative of Jane Seymour, who became the third wife of Henry VIII. She's also related to Amelia Earhart and a few other names there. She's also related to Kate Middleton. And there's speculation that her name is actually Rothschild, due to documents that have been found. Like for more.
I didn't even think about that. They said all the elites in the world are related. Could you guys imagine that we can rabbit hole finding out it's all connected? That's a scary thought.
Akuna Matata. In Japanese, Akuma is the name of the devil. So Akuna means evil. Akuna Matata means many evil demons. So you might go, okay, well, let's talk Japanese. We're going to talk about Japanese. Akuna Matata in Swahili means there is no worries, supposedly. But in Zulu, Akuna Matata means there is no father. And Zulu happens to be the primary language that the Lion King songs are singing. Zulu and Swahili. But they told you, no, that song is in Swahili. It's not in Zulu. And what happens in the story of Lion King? Oh yeah, the dad dies. That movie is like literally targeted to the African-American community. We've got Mulan in Asia, we've got Snow White in Germany, in India you've got Jasmine, but when it comes to Africa, they make the movie about animals? That's a little bit racist, isn't it? Why didn't they just make it like, you know, African movie about the princess there? And then you look into like who runs this, and they're all people tied to the occult, to that area that we're not allowed to talk about, where they wear their little funny hats. Yeah. When you get down to it, you realize like the highest order of witchcraft is the cabal.
This woman was in shock.
I never knew that.
Real life glowing dove. Watch this. This is real life. Looks like she's driving on top of the road. Is this a dove, y'all? I've never seen a glowing bird, so this is a bird. What kind of bird is this?
Okay, now I see the glow.
Birds just don't glow like that.
Shit, you got that glow.
It's a sign.
Y'all know what kind of bird this is?
Could this be an angel disguised as a dove?
Is it a dove?
I think so.
Is this a skinwalker whose animagus just happens to be a dove?
All my spiritual people.
This is actually
If
insane.
this is a dove, what does this mean?
Why is it
This is
glowing?
crazy. Like, he ain't even moving nothing.
Very weird, yo.
I'm mad close to it. It's crazy.
Weird.
Kind of scared. I wouldn't say scared.
Oh no, Speed said I'm out.
Hold on, I'll be right back, okay? I think I forgot my shit. I got something else to do.
I don't. That was witchcraft right there. Speed was not messing with that, man. That's a crazy clip.
Not much further need for Hollywood myself. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, I think it's a very strange, funny time where everybody would love to be able to be themselves, but they can't because they must fall in line with the person in front of them. You want to live that kind of life? I wish you the best. I'll be on the other side somewhere.
New fear unlocked. This woman felt something crawling around in her ear, and, well, take a look at what was in it.
Better not be what I think it is.
Why do you think it's gonna bubble? Because it bubbles when you put it on blood. No, it bubbles when you put it on urine. It does? Yep. Ah, shit, that's cold. No.
Also, some move.
Yeah, it came out. I told you.
What came out?
It's a fucking spider.
What the heck?
Shit.
Yeah,
It's a spider? Oh my god! Oh!
Bro is massive! Yo, what if he laid eggs in the ear? Yo, I'm sleeping with earplugs in. I can't deal with that. I can't.
Flag from an anime show is now becoming the real-life symbol of Gen Z protests around the world. Multiple countries have been rocked by major youth-led protests recently, and the Jolly Roger pirate flag from the Japanese manga One Piece has now largely become the symbol and face of these movements in countries like Indonesia, Nepal, the Philippines, and even France. Banners with this symbol in crowds are now becoming common. It's being painted on the streets, raised outside of people's homes, and in Nepal, they even hung it on the golden gate of the burning parliament buildings. In fact, it's even gotten to the point where some governments like Indonesia have labeled it a treasonous act. One activist from Nepal said, "We wanted the movement to feel like a Gen Z movement, so the slogans and symbols used during the protests were linked with things that Gen Z youth could relate to. And it's not being used just because it's popular. It's also because the plot of the show revolves around a group of young people who, while in the pursuit of lost treasure, aim to challenge oppressive leaders. And it's been so effective because this anime symbol transcends language, culture, and borders, and it's become the reference to unite and galvanize young people from around the world. And when it's seen in this context, it's now becoming a rallying cry for the new generation to hold governments accountable for things like corruption, neglect, and censorship. And with more Gen Z protest plans stretching to other countries as well, the question becomes, will we be seeing more of the One Piece symbol or not?
Seekers, have any of you guys watched One Piece? I think I watched a couple episodes, but I can't get into it because it's like so many, over 1,000. Tell me down below, should I check it out? Speed is insane, bro. I couldn't do it.
IShowSpeed's jump from Las Vegas' Strat Tower went horribly wrong. His cord appeared to snap mid-air. Did he almost die live on camera? During his 829-foot sky jump, a split-second frame on the live stream showed what looked like a disconnected carabiner. Social media exploded. Viewers were terrified that one of the biggest internet stars might have been seconds from a fatal fall. But here's the twist. It wasn't a safety failure at all. Experts and the Strat confirmed it was a streaming glitch, and the jump's decelerator system, with multiple redundancies, kept him completely safe. Yet the panic online was real, showing how a single frame can spark mass hysteria. This incident raises a bigger question. In the age of live streaming, how often are we fooled into thinking our favorite creators are in danger? And when viral scares hit,
when was the last time
Crazy.
you saw Ryan Seacrest? Why do I ask? Because he was recently interviewed for an iHeartRadio special, and he was just unrecognizable, leaving fans asking the question, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? If you haven't seen the interview, take a look at this.
Who would be your
Look at
dream
his face.
residency Vegas?
Well, my dreams are coming true, Mariah.
Who is that?
Right? So that would be a good one. Yes, the Mariah Christmas.
Is that Ryan Seacrest that you're used to seeing?
What we can't expect from that. So that would be a good one.
This is the Ryan Seacrest we're all used to seeing. And a matter of fact, this was taken just a couple of weeks ago. So who is this Ryan Seacrest? The question needs to be asked. Has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? As I always say in my videos, I understand that people can age.
Yeah.
But just take a look at Ryan Seacrest from not too long ago versus the Ryan Seacrest of now. What is going on with Ryan Seacrest? So rumors have started to circulate that Hollywood has claimed another celebrity, this time Ryan Seacrest. So my question to you is, what is going on with Ryan Seacrest? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Strange sighting in Alaska has a lot of people scratching their heads this morning. Take a look. An Alaska Bureau of Land Management worker in Fairbanks was checking out the ice on Wednesday when he saw this. He recorded something moving up the river. Now, this video was posted to the Bureau's Facebook page. They admitted they're not sure exactly what it is. Then they added, "We're letting you be the judge."
Snake?
Whoa.
And it's not something that has that ice on it. Well, that's what I thought, but then look how it curves and it's all attached.
So my first thought would be a sturgeon.
Yeah.
But sturgeons, Joel, at the bottom of lakes.
It looks like an alligator, which we know it isn't. You know, but it does look like an alligator. You know, but
Second
like
guess.
a cold water alligator?
That is really weird. You know, kind of a random aside, when I was very little, I used to live across the street from the Chena River.
I never knew how incredibly common it was for people to dump human remains inside of the Disney parks. But it's so common they even have a code word for when it happens, and this is part of a long list of code words that Disney had for when morbid things happen in the park, and I want to share some of my favorites with you. Also, I cover stuff that's morbid but interesting, so follow along. So if you hear the words code white powder or code grandma said at Disney, it means that someone has dumped cremains near you. Employees have also said that this happens so often at Disney, and every time it does, those remains end up in the garbage. Apparently, they're supposed to call the Ghostbusters when this happens, which is just a custodian that shows up in a hazmat suit and has a little mini vacuum with him. And he vacuums everything up, throws it in the garbage, and says, "Sorry, Grandma." Another very common code is a protein spill, or a code V, which just means that someone has thrown up in the park, and they say that one happens all the time as well. But they also say a code that doesn't get picked up on a lot is when an employee calls a guest our most treasured guest. That pretty much universally means that you are being a nightmare and they wish that you would leave. And this one I couldn't confirm was at Disney, but it came from someone who was talking about theme park codes on a Reddit thread. And they said, "I worked at an Orlando theme park. Our status code was an 82. It meant a rider was too large for the seat and they were either stuck or causing a scene and refusing to move from the loading station. It was called an 82 because they ate too much."
Wow.
Bro, what the fuck is this? Better yet, who the fuck is this? Bruh, ain't no way. This is Zion.
It is.
Zion Williamson. The big 300-pound ass nigga. From New Orleans. Who play on New Orleans. That's him? Nah, fool. Nah, fool. Look at this man, y'all. I'ma show y'all a picture from a couple months ago. And before y'all say it, bro, chill, he just lost weight. No, he lost more than weight. Look at him. Nigga lost body mass. He lost muscle, everything. That do not look like him, bro. No one can sit up here and say, "Hey, it look just like Zion." Look at the difference. If this man decided to wear these clothes right now, Nigga, he would look like a crackhead, bro. I'm not even gonna count. Just look at the picture. Boom. Bro. He even got his eyes sinking in. Y'all know how them boxers be drained and shit? That's how he look right here. Y'all, that shit crazy, fool. Another one. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about this down below in the comments. What do y'all think going on, fool? Is it a O? I'm mentally...
What do y'all think, man? That Zion Williamson drop-off pick looks crazy, bro. Side by side, you wouldn't think they're the same person, but maybe he's just been putting in work over the summer, and it just all just dropped off of him, bro. You know, that's when people have been talking about his weight for this past couple of years. He's been on NBA because he kept getting injured. So we're going to see what this change is going to be.
Preparing myself because I know for a fact something is about to happen. The UK just made it mandatory for their citizens to have digital IDs. And if they don't have digital IDs, then they have problems. They're making it where if they don't have digital IDs, they won't be able to work. Then what's going to happen after that? They won't be able to buy food. Then what's going to happen after that? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after that. Right now, they're saying that they're seizing everyone's bank account in the UK that doesn't have the digital ID. What does that tell you? Then I want you to think. Just think for a second. Usually, when things like this happen in other countries, it's just a test to see if it'll work in other countries. Now you got to ask yourself, what country is next? Right. But then I want you to dig a little bit deeper. Grab your Bible. And I need you to just think about the mark of the beast. Take your time. Not saying that's what it is, but just think about it. Think about all the shit they're trying to introduce. Think about why they want to introduce it. Think about the control they'll have if they introduce it and we accept it. You thinking? All right.
I am.
Pay attention.
Gates. He was behind this company that made this new butter, right?
Yes. Butter.
Better believe it's not butter because it's not. It's made out of gasoline.
The company is working with restaurants, bakeries, and food suppliers to incorporate their carbon-made butter. They're walking through where they're making the butter, and there's this thing right here, this huge tub, and it's just slop water. It's called slop water.
There's just this, and he's behind this company. It's a birth control pill that you take it and you won't have babies for 8 years.
It's in Kenya and Nigeria are the two places that it's been approved for rollout. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is behind the rollout. It's for population expansion control, but it's like, dude, 8 years.
Yeah, you're talking about a potential like 8-year minimum gap in population. That's huge.
You're giving all of this out to a population who may or may not be well educated on what to do.
Well, especially if research is coming out now with birth control being a cancer causing.
It's complicated because it's like.
Bill Gates, women's priorities first.
Yeah, 100%.
He's always made human health first and like never profit.
Yeah. He is actually Mr.
Crazy.
Incredible's illegitimate son. You know how in Incredibles, there's that kid that always looked at Mr. Incredible. Oh, the fun guy. Syndrome. Yeah. Remember his name was Buddy as a kid, and he came up to Mr. Incredible like,
Ready for takeoff.
Who are you supposed to be?
Well, I'm Incredible.
What? You're that kid from the fan club. Brody. Buddy.
My name is Incredible. I know all your moves, your crime-fighting style, favorite catchphrases, everything. I am your #1 fan.
I found a theory. The reason why he really did want to be like him so bad. Why? He is actually Mr. Incredible's illegitimate son.
Yeah.
He has the same head shape. He has the same freckles that Dash has.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
has blue eyes just like Mr. Incredible. Remember in the scene?
Take this one home and make sure his mom knows what he's been doing.
I can help you. You're making a mistake.
He didn't say take him and tell his parents what he's doing. He said make sure you tell his mom what he's up to. Because he already knows his mom. He already knows his mom. And he probably knows he doesn't have a dad, man. Because he's the one that gave him.
So
Could you guys imagine that after all these years, bro? That theory that Syndrome was speaking Mr. Incredible's son? That would take The Incredibles to a whole nother level, man. Fun fact, I love that movie, The Incredibles. It's such a classic. I didn't even think about that, but he does have freckles. I didn't even clock that.
genuinely curious of what they got going on in Area 51 and other places that human beings do not have access to. Because can you really tell me two human beings sat down and created this? Because who were the two people who sat down to make this? What do they look like? Do they look like him? And then why does Google have this on their website? Okay, our world is literally strange. It's way more stranger than we think, y'all. And this is what I mean by we are living in multiple parallel realities. Just like in the Bible tells us be in this world and not of it, I truly believe we are in a video game. Yeah, because, yeah.
Hi, I'm Lilith. Isn't it sometimes people treat me not very well, but it's very rare. Usually people treat me very good, and yeah, most of people are good to me. And it depends on the person.
Just like in Scooby-Doo and Men in Black, they be showing y'all that people with human faces are really alien beings from a whole nother world. So what if this guy is really that too? Y'all really gotta ask these questions because they already told us, do not trust your eyes, you know? We can only see what, 2%, 1% of this light spectrum. Do your eyes deceive you? What is that?
The first days at school was, it was not so good because the other kids were scared of me. But when they started knowing me, when we started talking to me, they understood that I was not so different from them. It was just outside. I looked different, but I'm not different inside.
I mean, he looks like a full-on canine. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of dogs, especially when you see like a walking upright one. You get what I'm saying? It's like, come on. I think there's a deeper genetic link into why a lot of American people love Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Chewbacca. They be telling us in these movies, man. Like, yeah, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this video. Let's share this here, and we're getting ready to see a lot more weird things. Let's continue to get it.
There's something going on underground they're not telling us. But why is this water bottle shaking? Just sitting on the ground.
Earthquake?
There is something insane going on beneath us.
Underground city?
The elite supposedly have a $21 trillion city underneath us. The level of weird just keeps going up every single day. I don't think this is an earthquake. What do you think? Stay weird.
So you guys are aware that it is outwardly admitted that McDonald's meat contains human DNA, right? So what if they were doing the same thing to the dogs? Do you guys remember this commercial over here? Check this out.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! 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 There! From that bag! What's it say? I can't read! Please! Please! Get it out of the bag! Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
There you go.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! No! 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 It's bacon!
No, it's Bacon Strips brand dog snack from Purina. Bacon Strips. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
Did y'all hear her? She said, no, it's not bacon, it's bacon. Dogs don't know it's not bacon. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because there is a documentary that actually tells you that bacon is actually dog meat. That pig meat is actually too expensive and dogs are more cheaper, and it explains the whole process for you guys, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. So they've been feeding dogs this whole time, just like allegedly with humans.
Bacon is now processed and even pre-cooked in factories. It all starts with a load of skinned dog carcasses. Most factories elect to use dogs because it's cheaper than pork, and customers can rarely taste the difference.
Wow.
The meat is placed skin side down on a conveyor belt to ensure the employees judge it only by the content of its character. The conveyor takes the meat to a cheese rolling machine, which pelts it with slices of Kraft Singles. This process is rough on the meat, so it's not uncommon for some afterbirth to be evacuated by the product. This afterbirth travels down a separate conveyor belt, where it will then be used in cosmetics. Meanwhile, the meat pieces are bathed in salt water and are sent to employees to begin the brining process, giving the bacon its signature fishy taste.
So there you go. To everyone that thought that they were eating pig, you guys are actually eating dog, and also dogs are actually eating dogs as well too. This is crazy, y'all, because this is what NDAs do. This is what NDAs do. Did you guys know any of this? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shit is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
I didn't.
People, it's happening again.
they hit Russia with the mud flood. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now, I didn't think I was gonna be alive long enough to see this. This is mud flood. This is mud flood.
It is.
For all those people who didn't believe me, I told y'all. This is going on right now in Russia. If you can't stop them one way, just send in the mud flood. And Pakistan,
all over,
also being hit with the mud flood. What is going on? This one seems to be mixed with something that made it look like cement. People, the world is changing. Are we gonna survive?
This video is for anyone that uses their phone while it's plugged in. This is a non-contact voltage meter. As you can see, no voltage going to the phone right here. When the phone is plugged in, you're gonna see a lot of voltage. Now, this is where it gets very interesting, guys. Look how far away it is. It's still measuring voltage, right? So, a lot of people sleep next to their phone that's plugged in. And it is literally, this is going into your fucking brain, your body, damaging all your cells. But watch this. Not holding the phone, no voltage in the hand. Holding the phone, voltage meter starts going off. Crazy stuff, guys. I repeat, do not use your phone while it's plugged in. Do not keep it next to your bed. Put it in the bathroom or something. You don't need it fucking close to you overnight. This is very, very dangerous stuff, guys. Okay? Peace and love.
See, because do you guys keep your phones plugged up next to you, I guess at night when it's charging? I think watching this video is going to make you rethink that, bro. Just put it in a drawer. Just keep it far away from you, man. We saw those voltage levels.
Crazy things going on in the world right now. Over $1.4 million in Nintendo Switch 2s were stolen from a semi-truck in Colorado. An ambulance that was transporting a dead body hit a pothole so hard that the body came back to life. A Titanic escape simulator game is coming to PlayStation in 2026, probably before GTA 6. A Florida man was arrested after attempting to cross the Atlantic in a homemade hamster wheel. Of course, Florida. New York City officially now has a subtropical climate. The first ever heat advisory was issued for Alaska last month. A Swedish billionaire bought 400,000 acres of the Amazon rainforest just to protect it. A 98-year-old World War II veteran used a tank to run over a Tesla. The Taliban suspended any activity of playing chess in Afghanistan due to the religious considerations and concerns that it's a form of gambling. Squatters were not leaving this man's home, so he moved in with them.
I want you to be very honest with me. What is happening in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is normal? They are claiming that what happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is being deemed the 1,000-year flood.
Whoa.
Why? Because it's just not normal. Take a look at this video. Take a look at that right there. Certain areas received up to 12 inches of rain. Just look. Tell me this is all normal.
Don't look like it.
Look at that. This map right here shows the incredible totals that most areas received. Take a look at it.
I see the highest is 14.
The question needs to be asked, such as I did with the floods in Texas. Why weren't they warned about what was coming? Somebody had to have some type of knowledge of the amount of flooding that was on the way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Take a look at this video. Just look at that.
Whole apartment gone.
The incredible amount of water that accumulated in that street as she's trying to drive through it. This is unbelievable. Look at this. Wow.
That's too high.
So my question to you, as always, what is going on with these intense, crazy storms causing all this major flooding? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What has happened to Justin Bieber? Yo, Justin, are you okay, man? He posted this up on social media. What is going on anymore with this guy? He seems to be posting up a lot of weird stuff on social media. And now look at him. What is going on? Yo, Justin, I hope that you are okay, my guy. This is very bizarre stuff, you all. And really, this doesn't even look like the same person at all. It really doesn't. So what do you all think is going on with this guy? Comment down below and let me know. But man, I hope that everything is okay because, again, this is very bizarre stuff. The fact that he posted this up on social media. What is he trying to say? What is he trying to say? Is he trying to say that he needs help? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is this is very bizarre. Again, what do you all think?
So now the LBs is giving people warnings about aliens coming here in November. But these aliens don't look like this. They are trying to say they look like this. 7 feet tall black aliens. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. First, I want to say the black carbon aliens control everything in this universe. These people are trying to distract you from the real truth. So when these aliens come, will it be real or will it be Project Bluebeam? I need people to understand we are living in different timelines. What if I told you the timeline we live in right now is really dead? They need other life forms to come back to save us. These so-called world leaders, they've been cloned by the great aliens. Remember, our timeline is not moving, therefore it's dead. These great aliens are really artificial intelligence that live underground. They are not really aliens, they are robots, and they live underground bunkers. They've been working with these scientists for a long ass time because these great aliens or robots was once humans. So when you look at these life forms, you are looking at yourself in the future. They was once us. They sacrificed their spirituality for technology. And when they did this, they lost their spirit. Now they're trying to get back their spiritual roots. And if you look at the world, you will notice the same shit is happening all over again. Look at the internet. The internet is really the hive mind where everyone talk the same, look the same, think the same, react the same, trending topics. Every world leader you see is a great alien or artificial intelligence. They try to give us this brainwashed ass stories about man coming from monkeys. No, we are becoming artificial intelligence, the great aliens. Elon Musk.
What do you guys think about that theory, bro? He says that he can go, it looks like he was about to be can go off on a run. He's about to go even deeper. They said the aliens look like 7 foot out. That was not what I imagined they thought aliens were gonna look like, but
says that AI, artificial intelligence, could become more dangerous than nuclear war.
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot. And nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to just build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane.
Well, I definitely don't want nuclear war. So if AI is worse, that's no good. Shabadoo!
Hey y'all, look at this, y'all.
Okay.
Look at this. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to the skies as of late, but the sun has been changing. Look at this video over here. Gina Marie Colvin took of the sun in her state, y'all. This thing looks like a eyeball. A real eyeball, y'all. I got some crazy videos to show y'all, but check this out.
This sun, I've never got this image before with my phone. It looks pretty strange, like this.
Eyeball.
Yo, it looks like a super halogen ball, y'all. Why did it look like a red Kamehameha? A Masenko? Yo, that is crazy, y'all. Now check this out. She also caught it doing this the other day. What is that? Is that somebody standing? Is that a light being in it or that's some type of arrow? It looks like something's obfuscating the sun. Y'all see that? Have y'all noticed that the sun has gotten brighter since the last solar eclipse of 2024? I noticed this, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. But check this out. What is going on here? This phenomenon, this thing right here was caught in the skies of Canada. Like, how do you explain this, y'all? This is the Lord of the Rings. Are you kidding me? Y'all, this is why that song, I Can Feel It in the Air, is going viral right now, because how do you explain this? This is crazy. This is literally the conjunction of the spheres, y'all. And get this. Y'all see how they recorded this in Canada? Tell me why they were singing in Jamaica, Cortez, Jamaica, y'all. Look at this. The same thing that they're singing in Canada right now. What is this? What is this, y'all? That thing is huge. What is this? Oh, what? Wow. Y'all, can y'all feel it? Can y'all feel it? Cause I can. Let me know exactly what it is that you feel down in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Here's some of the most disturbing moments in kids' TV shows. Invader Zim has some disturbing moments, but the episode Dark Harvest definitely takes the cake. Problems arise when Zim is sent to the nurse. Realizing she'll discover his alien organs, he starts to steal the organs from kids within the school and replacing them with inanimate objects. After stealing an organ from almost every student, Zim's new appearance shocked all of those watching.
Okay. Any of the seekers watching Invader Zim?
I've been working out.
He's revealed to now be a fat blob, oozing liquids and intestines, looking like he could burst at any second. After finding out he's missing a pair of lungs, he hunts down the last healthy kid in the school. At this point in the episode, there's no more comedy present. They instead rely on fear.
Oh.
What the fuck is this? Nah, I'm done. Apple got us fucked up. They really think we stupid. They be playing right in our face, year in and year out. The same fucking phone. Every single year. Y'all, look at this shit. What the hell did they change? Why we keep getting the same phone for more money? You can't make this shit up, y'all. They really took the little things on the side, the little lights, from right here, and they put it on the right side. Bruh, it's hurting me, y'all. I'm really about to say this, and I never thought I would say this. I have been thinking it, but each year I'm like, iPhone is about to get better, and they always let me down. So now, I think I might have to go to fucking Galaxy, y'all. Is that the new wave? Is that the new trend? I don't want to pay $1,500 for the same fucking phone, bruh. I've been doing it for the last couple years. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not doing it no more. It's either I'm going to keep this 16 that I got, or I'm going over to Galaxy. I need y'all to throw us down below in the comments. Am I tripping the way I feel? Or do y'all feel the same way as me? This is criminal. We can't keep letting them get away with this shit. Fuck the colors. I want a whole new design. Nigga, I want my iPhone to start making food. Something. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. Are y'all buying this junk? Are you keeping your same iPhone? Or are you...
If you don't know...
I just keep, man. Just keep it till the wheels fall off, bro. I mean, if you don't want to upgrade, you don't have to. But I just keep mine till the wheel fall off. If I don't see anything major improvements, to me, there's no point of upgrading.
What's happening tonight, you need to watch this video right now. Make sure you share this video with someone, because if you miss this tonight, you won't see it for a very long time. So there is something called the Perseid meteor shower, which has been happening for a while, but it's going to peak on the 12th and the 13th of August. Now, I've seen a lot of people thinking that this is only going to be in America, but no, you will be able to see it from the UK and Europe, and this is how. Now, to see this, you do not need binoculars, a telescope or anything. You will literally be able to see it very clearly. All you need to do is get somewhere out of a city, drive into the countryside or whatever, somewhere with little to no light pollution. You might still be able to get glimpses of it if you're in a city or a built-up area, but the best chance and the best view you're going to get is if you go somewhere where there is basically no light exposure. For the best chance to see it, keep your eyes out between 10 PM and midnight and get out just before it's gonna come so that your eyes can adjust to the dark. Look up towards the north, and if you're in an area where there's basically no light pollution, I can pretty much guarantee you will see it, especially if it's not cloudy. Now, this is an occurrence that happens normally once every year, so if you do miss it, you will see it again, but not for another year. So make sure you get outside and you're prepared, share this video with a friend, and hit that follow button, and I'll keep you updated.
Swimming games part 4. Would you go swimming in this red tiled bottom pool that's in Thailand? It's kind of cool, but it is also kind of like you're bathing in blood. I don't know about it. This is absolutely horrific, and I could never, and I mean never, go in this pool. Going out of the clown's mouth, turning around, seeing the clown, my soul would leave my body. Also, why does the hair look like SpaghettiOs? This looks like a pool that would be in a horror movie, and all the lights would go out all of a sudden, and now I'm scared myself. I found this image on Google, just like this, and yeah, this person gets it. This pool drain, it sure is plotting. It is plotting. Pool drains are not your friend. Remember that. This abandoned pool gives me the heebie-jeebies. What is that down there? That like steel thing that's like in the water right here? That is freaking me out. This image has banned all of my boozles. This looks like a lazy river, but then you go around the corner and these freaking wave pool drains. Why? That is terrifying. Imagine going around that circle and just like seeing that. I would be imagining the creepiest things behind there. In this pool where they put spent power rods, this freaks me out so bad that I don't know why. It's the forbidden waffle. I've seen Final Destination 4. You don't want to be there, buddy. I have more creepy pool photos coming tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, watch this video of a wave pool and let me know how you're feeling.
Okay, I'm messing with wave pools. What's that? Like white stuff beneath the water though.
This YouTuber is claiming that Roblox has banned all his accounts and even sent him a cease and desist letter for exposing predators on their platform. Schlepp has over 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he primarily makes videos about exposing predators in the Roblox community. In fact, he says that his work has led to 6 arrests in real life. So with that in mind, I don't think he was expecting Roblox to react like this. In the legal letter, they said that he was engaging in unauthorized and harmful activities on the platform, that he exposed users to increased risk, and violated the game's policies. Now, Schlepp was outraged because Roblox has long been accused of not doing enough to stop predators using their platform, which is partly why vigilantes like Schlepp have started taking action of their own. In fact, Schlepp said that he himself was groomed on the platform when he was a child. So for the company to end up threatening him with legal action, it's got a lot of people real angry. They said, while Roblox acknowledges that your stated intentions may be to protect children, your methods, including failing to immediately report suspicious activity to Roblox through proper channels, are actively interfering with Roblox's established safety protocols, and critically are exposing Roblox users to increased risk. Now, Schlepp has responded, insisting that he has reported through proper channels many times before without success, saying, "We send you everything." Now, the backlash to this has been pretty intense. A lot of the gaming community have sided with Schlepp, leading to a Roblox mass unfollowing movement trending, and even with users going after the CEO personally. However, some have sided with Roblox, saying you can't just go out and fight crime if you feel like the police aren't doing enough, and that this should be left to the people who are trained to do so. So, what do you guys think? Is it fair that Schlepp got banned, or should he be allowed back on the platform to continue his good work?
Why isn't anybody talking about the fact that there has been a mass kidnapping in Virginia? From August 1st till today, August 12th, 50 children have gone missing in Virginia. There are no news stories speaking about this. There are no higher officials speaking about this. This is 50 children. Look at this shit. We're not going to sit here and act like this is not happening. Look at all these children.
What's
Why
happening?
hasn't there been any news coverage? Look at all of these kids, man. Come on, y'all. For real. Look at this shit, man. This is sad right here. All of these children are missing.
Something going down.
No news coverage. Nobody saying anything. I'm gonna sit this right here, man. You're gonna sit right here. This don't make no sense, man. A mass kidnapping. Who's taking all these children? This can be any one of our children here.
We need answers.
Any one of us. As parents, somebody gotta step up, man. We gotta make this viral, man. Apparently something is going on in Virginia that we do not know about. But people need to see this. Higher officials need to see this. Higher officials need to hear about this. For real.
Just really weird scenarios and
Shit, a
things
video,
that
man.
happen revolving around this flood.
This tragedy happens on Friday. They were literally seeding clouds. The same Wednesday that the warning went out. The organization is called Rainmaker. Rainmaker does not have to provide environmental impact statements. The CEO, the owner, has admitted that he was seeding clouds on Wednesday, but he says, what I did couldn't have had enough effect to have caused these problems. On his official permit, he doesn't have to provide any environmental proof that what he's doing doesn't have the effect.
Dubai was doing the cloud seeding, and it was raining a little bit here and there, and all of a sudden, Dubai floods.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
like,
shoot, I didn't think of
you know,
that.
but it's like the domino effect.
We blame it on climate change. We're like, we're literally changing it.
Yeah, we're the ones
legally
making
doing
it
right. Yeah.
But I really think accountability doesn't exist. If anything comes from us talking
Or
about it,
awareness.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
people need to be aware that permissions have been given that shouldn't have been given, and I think accountability needs to exist. So that's what I'm pushing for.
That's what caused the floods in Milwaukee.
For 15 minutes, my usual. And she's like, oh, no, babe, sorry, you gotta use something else. I don't recommend this. And I was like, sorry, excuse me. It's okay. I've been using this for 20 years. It's been fine to me. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to be held responsible. So I'm not going to give you this lotion, but I'm going to give you this, and that should work even better. I was livid. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I just didn't want to go back and forth. I didn't even want to go back and forth. I just wanted to get it done, ready for my holiday, go home and pack. Boy, who knew that was going to be my biggest mistake here? I go on the sunbed. I'm like, oh, it's feeling a bit tingly. It's feeling a bit tangy. Like, I feel like I got heat rub all over my body. Plus, like, I hit a little pepper soup on top. Like, I was like, okay. You know that feeling when you got a relaxer? That's how it felt. But I was like, you know what? Let me power through. Whatever. Come out. Now I'm looking like I've been in the air fryer for about 40 years. Great stuff.
Facts about serial killers that you'll want to forget. Part 1. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super quiet and pretend like he was gone, and right when the victims would try to untie themselves or go for their phone, he would scare the hell out of them. Jeffrey Dahmer attempted to make sex zombies out of his victims by drilling holes into their head while they were still alive and pouring acid into the holes. American serial killer Albert Fish once cooked and ate a little girl and sent a letter to her parents describing how she tasted. Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso murdered over 300 girls. He was in prison for 18 years when he was moved to a psychiatric hospital where they declared him to be sane and he was set free, even though he stated that he planned on killing again. He was released in 1998 and no one knows where he is or what he's doing.
The good news is that the FBI has finally identified the Zodiac Killer. The bad news is it unfortunately is not Ted Cruz, thus he can still stay in Congress. And Air Force veteran Gary Francis Post has been dead since 2018, so we'll never get any more answers or face any justice for his victims. However, with the help of his DNA and new DNA technology, there are 5 more cold cases that may be solved, and maybe because of him too. Enjoy being John Wayne Gacy's cuck for eternity in hell.
Breaking news, authorities have found missing 2-year-old Josiah deceased. Authorities say Josiah was originally reported missing on August 16th by his father. His father claimed that he was taken during a robbery at the Aspen Woods Apartments in Decatur, Georgia. However, his father was arrested a day later for making false statements and filing a false report. On August 17th, East Point police took over the investigation and said that Josiah was actually last seen at the Lakeview Apartments where his father lives. Soon after, authorities could be seen canvassing a landfill as well as a body of water. On August 18th, authorities drained the body of water, however, they did not find Josiah. As of today, authorities say a body was found at the East Point transfer station on Martin Street. They have not confirmed that the body is that of Josiah's, however, the police chief says he does not think it is a coincidence. At a news conference on Wednesday, authorities believe additional charges against his father will be pending. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
This is
Disgusting
Australia's
world.
worst female serial killer, or at least she was, until last month when new evidence came to light that proved her innocence all along. In 2003, Catherine Folbig was sentenced to 25 years in prison for murdering her 3 children, 2 girls, Sarah and Laura, and 1 son, Patrick, as well as manslaughter against her other son, Caleb, between the years 1989 and 1999. Here's what happened. All 4 Folbig children died in their sleep when they're only 19 days old to 18 months old. Her son, Caleb, was the first Folbig child to pass, who everyone initially thought died of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. But then when her other 2 infant daughters, Sarah and Laura, died suddenly with no explanation, that's when the rumors began to swirl of foul play. Eventually, those rumors took an ugly form that Kathleen must have smothered each of her children to death. Her husband divorced her in 2000, believing the rumors to be true. Then, a year later in 2001 is when she was officially arrested and convicted in a trial that became a 7-week media circus. The thing was, there was no concrete evidence that Kathleen had smothered any of her children, or was a cause of her children's untimely death in any way. So what led to her ultimate conviction? The jury sealed her fate based on a personal diary entry that her husband turned over to the police. Kathleen writes, quote, "The guilt about them all haunts me," which the prosecution of course used to imply Kathleen's apparent guilt for killing her children. The defense vehemently argued that this was all circumstantial evidence, but the power of the media and public opinion prevailed and the jury found her guilty. For 3 decades, Kathleen has maintained her innocence. Kathleen already served 20 of those 25 years, but she was finally released on June 5th, 2023, because it was discovered that all 4 of her children died of natural causes. But how?
This teenager is accused of killing his ex, then sitting in a room with her corpse for hours. 18-year-old Natalie Martin was just like any other young girl letting her hair down after graduating. She was recently on holiday celebrating with a group of her friends after graduating Philo High School in Duncan Falls, Ohio. They were staying at a rental home in South Carolina. Natalie's ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Blake Linkus, was also there with the group. The pair had actually broken up in February this year, as apparently Blake had grown violent. On one occasion, he, quote, took her and threw her across the room. On June the 5th, the day before her death, Blake and Natalie had apparently been arguing because he found out she'd been texting someone else. On the fateful night in question, the group had been out clubbing when Natalie decided to go home because she felt unwell. Blake also went back with her. Around 9 a.m. the next morning, Blake came out of his room covered in blood. He was shouting that Natalie wasn't waking up. Blake had seemingly stabbed himself in the chest after killing Natalie. When 2 members of the group tried to attempt CPR on Natalie, they said it was way too late, she was cold and stiff. This suggests that she had been deceased for a long time and Blake had seemingly sat in the room with her corpse.
Breaking news, a mother of 2 has been taken against her will and had her life taken by her deceased husband's friend. Authorities say the woman's husband passed away in spring due to an unspecified illness. 6 days ago, one of her late husband's friends arrived at her home. The victim's employer said, quote, he had fallen on hard times and she offered to let him stay in her basement. However, on August 18th, she invited the suspect to come have drinks with her and a few colleagues from work. That was the day that she was last seen. Shortly after arriving home from having drinks with colleagues, she was on the phone with one of her friends when the line went dead and she apparently was SHOT. Then on August 19th, after a long police chase and over 300 miles away, they found the suspect with the woman deceased in the vehicle. The woman's employer stated that the suspect may have had romantic feelings for her, but she did not have them mutually. At this time, it is not immediately clear how the suspect knew the woman's deceased husband. Co-workers also stated that the woman has daughters ages 7 and 8. The suspect is currently in jail in Tennessee and waiting to be brought back to Ohio to face charges. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
She's just trying to be a nice person and help him out during hard times, and look what happened, bro. Said he had feelings, she didn't have feelings back for him, and you took it to their most extremes. Now the daughters lost their mom. He can't help everybody.
what happened to what media labeled as the TikTok murderer Zachary Latham. On May 4th, 2020, 18-year-old Zach's life changed forever. Media outlets flooded everyone's timelines with one main accusation.
Of killing his neighbor in New Jersey to become famous on TikTok.
He wanted to be TikTok famous.
Was fame on TikTok a motive for a killing?
You may not know this, but he was released this year, and I was able to have a one-on-one live interview with him. Let me tell you, you are not prepared for this video.
Cannibal facts that'll eat you
check
for
that out.
days. Part 4. This footage from a CNN documentary shows journalist Reza Aslan talking to a member of the Agori sect. Later in the video, he consumes a portion of a human brain that the cannibals offer him. This CCTV footage from 2010 shows Stephen Griffiths flipping off the camera after shooting a woman in the back with a crossbow. He killed and ate 3 sex workers and has been dubbed the Crossbow Cannibal. In 2003, South Korean serial killer Yoo Young-chil murdered 21 people and ate the livers of several of his victims. Ronald William Brown was a puppeteer on a Christian TV show called Joy Junction. The show has since been taken off air after he was convicted of conspiring with another man to eat a boy at his church. There are actually Yahoo chat logs from the incident detailing their exact plan. In May 2018, the Reddit user Incredibly Shiny Shart made a post discussing how he legally cooked and shared his amputated foot with 10 of his friends. He was forced to remove it because of a motorcycle accident and reportedly asked his friends, "Remember how we always talked about how if we ever had the chance to ethically eat human meat, would you do it?" This conversation led the friends to eating his severed foot.
That's the most weirdest friend group I've ever heard of. You eat your friend's amputated foot. That's so wrong on so many levels. Bro, these clips, man, watching it together as you guys seekers, they always amaze me, bro.
Did you know that this man from Japan suffered one of the most gruesome deaths in history? If not, then you definitely want to hear about this. On September 30, 1999, the 35-year-old man named Hisashi Aochi and 2 other men were working at the nuclear power plant in Tokaimura, Japan under a tight deadline to convert uranium hexafluoride into enriched uranium. But Aochi and his coworkers attempted to take a shortcut to meet their deadline, which resulted in a horrific explosion directly exposing the 3 men to harmful radiation. By the time Aochi arrived at the hospital, his body was already covered in burns and his eyes were leaking blood. At first, the doctors tried countless skin grafts, blood transfusions, and even stem cell transplants, but sadly none of the procedures worked. Pain was so overwhelming that Aochi repeatedly begged the doctors for his death, but his family insisted that the doctors keep trying experimental treatments and do whatever it takes to keep him alive. As days went by, Aochi's skin began to melt from his body and even suffered 3 heart attacks in 1 hour. And the crazy part was that every time he was brought back to life, he suffered brain damage. Aochi's suffering went on for 83 days straight, and on December 21st, 1999, Aochi mercifully passed away after his last heart attack due to multi-organ failure.
That family kept trying to keep him alive, but it didn't end well for him.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and we'll be diving into crazy crime cases with insane twists I didn't see coming. On March 4th, 2008, 17-year-old Carolyn Watson and 22-year-old Julian Buchwald went to Australia's Alpine National Park. Julian had once proposed to Carolyn in the past, however she declined as she wasn't ready, so he decided to give it another go by taking her to a pretty park. Unfortunately, the couple were abducted by members of a satanic cult, and 6 hours later they were driven and dropped off naked in the middle of a field. They survived several freezing nights together, and Julian figured now was the time to propose, being that they may not survive. But Carolyn said no. They were both rescued, but what was shocking was Julian was eventually arrested. He told police that he had staged the entire thing in hopes that a traumatic situation would make Carolyn say yes. He was found guilty of kidnapping in 2009.
My mom had a friend, goes on a date with a guy, and she's at the table with him, and she feels very like an ominous feeling looking at this man. She's like, I'm looking at him, and I can see like there's nothing behind his eyes, like there's just something that I don't like about this guy. To the point where she went into to a payphone at the restaurant, called her brother, and was like, can you please come pick me up, like, immediately? And she was like, I'm just creeped out by this guy. I can't explain it. I'm creeped out. Now, this man had picked her up from her house. So the brother had a paper route. He's leaving the next morning at 5 a.m., sees some ruffling in the bushes, right? Like, whatever, sees a guy running out of the bushes, says, holy shit, whatever, runs back in the house. Sister wakes up, says he was wearing, like, a beige jacket. She's like, that's the guy I was on a date with. He was, like, waiting. He must have been, like, waiting for me, right? Life goes on. What a psycho, lunatic boyfriend. 3 years later, Ted Bundy on the news. Oh, he had committed murders but had not been famous for it yet. She said when he saw him, she literally almost fell out of her chair because she was like, that look, his face configures and contorts to something that looks so sinister that she literally was like, get me away from him now.
Some people can tell, bro. They can pick up on the energy. And she definitely did, bro.
Let's talk about this list, shall we? The zodiac signs of the most famous serial killers. The most surprising thing about this list is that Scorpio is not on it. How motherfucking ever. A name that is missing from this list is the Zodiac Killer, who a team of codebreakers has decided was Gary Francis Post, who's a Scorpio. So we don't know if that's true or not. But if it's true, he is a Scorpio. He would be the one Scorpio added to this list. Have you ever seen a Scorpio pop off? It is so frightening. Anyway, enough about Scorpio. Let's discuss the signs that are on this list. For those of you who don't believe in astrology, how can you explain that there's only 4 signs included in this long list? That's wild. The next craziest part is that there's 1 sign from each element. For fire signs, it's Sagittarius.
Okay.
For air signs, it's Gemini. For water signs, it's Pisces. And for earth signs, it's Virgo. Virgo shows up the most. That's crazy. You know that their crime scenes are immaculate, though. You know they're bleaching those crime scenes within an inch of their lives. And they're perfectionists, so no stone is left unturned. Gemini being included the next most frequently is not surprising to anybody. Jeffrey Dahmer, who is the subject of the new Netflix limited series, Dahmer, is a Gemini. Pisces is surprising to nobody either, because they let shit build up and then explode. Have you ever had a Pisces go off on you?
No.
Sagittarius, most surprising, but they're only listed 4 times here. Sagittarius is chaotic and impulsive. I don't know, you mix that with mental health issues and I could see it happening. As if butchering this family wasn't enough, the killer then took a shit in their toilet and ate all their ice cream. The Miyazawa family lived in a house in Setagaya, Japan. The family of 4 had been living in the house for a decade, and it was a duplex style, so their grandma actually lived in the unit directly next to them, but they didn't share an entrance. Most of the neighborhood had already moved out at this time. This was partially because the house was right next to a skate park and it would get really rowdy and noisy, and the week before the murders, the dad actually went over and confronted some of the teenagers. A stranger's car had also parked in front of their house, which they found creepy. Animals like cats and rats were also showing up tortured and killed around their neighborhood. On the night of December 30th, 2000, the family was killed around 11:30 p.m. the day before New Year's. The next morning, the grandmother became concerned after finding the phone lines were dead and the killer had actually cut their phone lines. This is when she discovered all 4 family members had been brutally murdered. Police determined that the killer entered the house by climbing a tree and getting in through an open window on the 2nd floor bathroom. This was also the side of the house that was directly facing the skate park. He then strangled their 6-year-old son Ray with his bare hands. The dad, Mikio, must have heard this because he then rushed upstairs and fought the killer, injuring him. The killer stabbed Mikio in the head with a sashimi knife and it actually broke off inside his head before he moved on to killing the mom and daughter. Yasuko and 8-year-old Nina were the most violently attacked, and this was with a knife from inside the house. What's weird is that the killer then remained inside the house for up to 10 hours. He accessed the family's computer at 1:18 a.m. He also went into their kitchen and drank 4 bottles of tea and ate 4 ice creams. He also left his poop inside the toilet without flushing. Since Mikio injured him while trying to defend his family, the killer also tended to his wounds using the family's first aid kit.
From this, the police were able to extract DNA, and they found no matches, but they did find out that the killer was half white, half Asian. Despite the house being filled with dead bodies, the killer also took a nap on the couch. He also must have changed clothes before leaving, because the police found a bucket hat, a scarf, a sweater, a jacket, jeans, and South Korean-made shoes inside the house that didn't belong to the family. The sweater the killer was wearing had only sold 10 units in the Setagaya area and 130 throughout the country, but they still weren't able to track down who bought these. Inside the fanny pack, the police found grip tape, which is often used by skaters, and they also found sand that was connected back to an Air Force base in California. The police have also said that the killer must have been 15 to 30 years old and of a healthy physique since he was able to climb the tree and get into the house. It's surprising that no DNA matches have been found, but it seems likely that this person has ties to the military or maybe even the mob, and that's why they haven't been identified yet.
How can they find him with all that evidence, man? That he left.
Photos with disturbing backstories, PT-18.
Okay. Don't tell me you did what I think you did. For some money. As you should.
The Long Island serial killer has finally allegedly been caught, almost 13 years after he murdered 4 women on Long Island, New York. The Long Island serial killer, or LISK case, is a case that's haunted people for years, and it really was launched in 2010 when 4 women's bodies were discovered in Long Island, New York. 4 women who would be known as the Gilgo 4. These 4 women, Melissa, Maureen, Megan, and Amber, were all sex workers in the New York City area, and they had all at the time of their disappearances seemingly vanished from the face of the earth. All 4 of their bodies, though, were eventually found on Gilgo Beach in Long Island, New York. Now, these disappearances took place over a number of years. The earliest was in 2007, and the last was in 2010. But in total, there have actually been 7 bodies found in that area that people think may be linked to the same serial killer, including the unidentified remains of a toddler who was 16 to 24 months in age. And the sad thing about this is that that toddler was actually the daughter of another victim. This was confirmed through DNA and the remains that were found, which means that most likely the killer murdered both of them at the same time. So for years, the LISK case was a huge case and nobody had any concrete leads. There was no DNA evidence. There were no surveillance videos. There was really nothing. That is, until just recently, today, when this guy was arrested. Rex Heuermann, a 59-year-old architect who worked in Manhattan but lived very close to Gilgo Beach. Rex, interestingly enough, is a family man. He's married, he has 2 kids, and he works in a powerful position at the architecture firm that he's employed with. Authorities have been searching for a link between Heuermann and the Gilgo 4 for a long time, but finally, just recently, they got a break when they recovered this pizza box from a garbage can. And when they tested some of the DNA that was found on this pizza box pictured here, it was almost a perfect match to the DNA found on the hair of victim Megan Waterman. At this point, though, there are a lot of things that allegedly link Rex to this case. For example, cell phone bills show that he met with 3 of the victims before they went missing. Records from a burner cell phone that he was using also show that Rex placed menacing phone calls to the relative of Melissa Bartholomew, who was a victim of his. He also had a fake profile on Tinder, and he extensively contacted massage parlors and different escort services trying to arrange these sexual liaisons. Now, what's interesting, and that I don't see a lot of people talking about on here, is that his wife's DNA has also been connected to the murders. Apparently, authorities collected a water bottle from outside of the Heuermann home, And his wife's DNA was a match to a piece of female hair that they found on tape that was used to bind two of the victims, and it was also a match to DNA that was found on a belt that was used to tie up a victim's feet. One of his phones also was linked to tons of disturbing searches. I'm talking about CP, I'm talking about assault material, watching videos of women who were tied up with bruised faces, all this horrific stuff. And the cell phone also conducted tons of searches about the Long Island serial killer, why they hadn't caught him yet, and all other sorts of weird things that tie into the case. So what do you think? Is this Lisk? Let me know in the comments below and I'll keep you updated as soon as we find out more.
I think it is.
9-year-old Jessica Lunsford was kidnapped from her home and she was buried alive while clutching her favourite soft toy. Her murder is one of the most horrific ones I've ever heard. Jessica was born on October 6, 1995. She loved to sing, excelled in school, and liked to ride on the back of her dad's motorbike. On January 24, 2005, Jessica's dad Mark heard Jessica's alarm going off in her room, so he went to check on her, only Jessica wasn't there. She was missing along with her favourite stuffed toy, a blue dolphin. Her school clothes were still neatly laid out and her bedroom window was closed, so Mark went to check the front door and found it unlocked. Jessica was reported missing immediately. A search for Jessica soon began, but an Amber Alert couldn't be issued, as it requires law enforcement to describe the vehicle that might have been used in the abduction, and there were no witnesses, so that information couldn't be provided. Volunteers, officers on horseback, a police helicopter and a dive team were all out searching for Jessica, but weeks went by with absolutely no leads. Police eventually enlisted the help of child abduction experts, and 208 sex offenders within 50 miles of Jessica's home were identified. This led police to a man named John Cooey, who was a registered sex offender. He lived 2 miles from Jessica's home, but often stayed with his sister, who actually lived within eyeshot of Jessica's front door. John was questioned and agreed to a lie detector, and when the results came back, he looked at the officer and said, "You don't need to tell me the results, I already know what they are," and he confessed to the abduction and murder of 9-year-old Jessica. He told officers where they could find Jessica's body, and it was discovered that she'd been buried just 200 yards from her front door, in John's sister's backyard. The true horror of Jessica's abduction and murder soon came to light. Trigger warning here because her murder is horrific. John said that he'd entered Jessica's home at 3 a.m. and found her in her bedroom. He'd woken her up and told her not to scream. He'd then taken her to his sister's house, where he'd kept her for the weekend in a closet, taunted her with articles showing that everybody was out looking for her. When John decided that he was done with Jessica, he told her to climb into a large bin bag, saying that he'd take her home but didn't want anyone to see her. In actual fact, she was never going home. She climbed into that bin bag thinking that the horror was over, but he tied it up, threw her into a pre-dug grave, and buried her alive. When Jessica was discovered, she was clutching her dolphin tightly, and she'd managed to poke 2 fingers through a hole in the bin bag in an attempt to escape. She'd suffocated to death alone in the dark and absolutely terrified. John Cooey was found guilty and sentenced to death in 2005, but he actually died of natural causes while in prison just 4 years later.